All right, we are live.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to Urbana University Stadium here on the beautiful Urbana University campus. It is homecoming weekend here at Urbana, and the Blue Knights welcome in the University of Virginia-Wise Cavaliers for today's matchup. Looks to be a good game today for the Blue Knights, and again, the Blue Knights are off to a hot start, off to their best start since 2007. Only the fourth time the Blue Knights have opened with a 4-1 record. They've won 4 straight home games dating back to last season, 3-0 of course this season. And a win today would be only the 5th time in Urbana history that they've won 4 consecutive home games, or 4 consecutive games. So that would be a big mark for this program. Again, this is only the 3rd time that Urbana has started with a 5-1 record. They're off to a hot start this year. They are 1-3 all-time against Virginia-Wise, so again, looking to pick up a victory over the Cavaliers this season. Cavaliers have won the previous 3 meetings by 10 points or less, including last year's 51-41 shootout at the Virginia-Wise campus. Urbana University fell 39-36 in the last meeting here in 2016, another close matchup. The Urbana University Blue Knights are going to be led today by freshman quarterback Zarin Davis, who came in for relief 2 weeks ago for injured quarterback Eddie Stockett. And last week down at the College of Charleston, Zarin was able to pick up his first collegiate start and his first win with 3 touchdown passes on the season so far. The real story with Urbana this year, though, has been their defense. They're limiting opponents to 89.4 rushing yards per game. That ranks 2nd in the Mountain East Conference and 14th overall in NCAA Division II. They're tied for 1st in the nation with most fumble recovered through 5 games with 9. So again, turnovers have been a key part to the success of their defense. But another big part has been tackles for loss. The Urbana defense is ranked 2nd in the nation for most team tackles for loss per game. They're averaging almost 10.5 tackles for loss per game. So that puts them, again, like I said, 2nd in the nation in that. They're also 25th for most sacks in a game, recording an average of 3 sacks so far in their previous 6 games this season. That has also led to Urbana having the reigning back-to-back Mountain East Conference Defensive Player of the Week award winners. 2 weeks ago, Michael Tolliver, and last week, Boston Sanders. So, again, they are playing a lot of defense here at Urbana this year. As far as the offense, they're also, again, like I said, have been on kind of a hot streak here. They've only allowed 3 sacks to opposing defenses, and that ranks them 1st in the Mountain East and 8th in NCAA Division II action. So, again, the protection has been good for the quarterbacks. And, again, unfortunately, like we mentioned, quarterback Eddie Stockett was knocked out 2 weeks ago, and we don't have a status update on him, but we know he is not available for today's game. As we said, Zarin Davis will be the starter. And the listed backup, as of right now, will be C.J. Hale, the freshman from Euclid, Ohio. So, again, a bevy of freshman quarterbacks here today for the Blue Knights. So let's run through the starters today. For the Blue Knights on offense, starting at left tackle will be Chris Hawkins, the 6'4", 300-pound junior. Lined up next to him will be left guard number 74, Russ Potikoff. And Russ, a 6'4", 334-pound senior, one of the leaders up front for this team. Speaking of leaders up front for the team, the center, Doug Harden, is a 3-year returning Letterman, 6'5", 315-pound senior. Excuse me. Lined up next to him is also a 2-year returning starter, number 64, 2-year Letterman, 64, Mike Mollahan. He's a 6'4", 290-pound junior. At right tackle is number 76, Marcellus Jones, a 6'4", 345-pound junior. A real road grader out there. The tight end will be number 81, Dylan Snyder, a 6'3", 245-pound graduate student. And the wide receivers, which have been very hot this year for Urbana, are led by starters number 6, Jesse Bray, a 6'2", 215-pound junior out of Huber Heights, Dayton. Also, J.T. Dozier, a 6'2", 186-pound sophomore. And the leading receiver for the Blue Knights is number 12, Shamar Hooks. He's a 5'11", 185-pound senior. And again, another wide receiver of note for the Blue Knights is number 9, Khalik Mohammed. who we're going to see return to action today in Kalik again, is leading the Urbana Blue Knights in yards with 331 receiving yards on the season, averaging 30.1 per catch and 110 yards per game. So, again, Kalik has put up some monster numbers. We'll also see Kalik returning kicks and punts today for the Blue Knights. At running back is number 28, Isaiah Young, a 5'10", 200-pound junior. And also looking to get significant work today will be 21, David Hickey, the 5'11", 190-pound sophomore, more of the power back of the two. And again, at quarterback, as we mentioned earlier, the redshirt freshman Zarin Davis, 6'4", 215 pounds. The defensive starters for Virginia-Wise at defensive end is number 58, Shavante Timothy, a 6', 250-pound freshman. The nose is Rondre Knowles-Tenner, a 5'11", 306-pound sophomore. And inside also joining him is number 11, Bryce Hartley, a 6'4", 235-pound junior. The nickelback is number 1, Marcus Tanner, a 5'11", 194-pound redshirt sophomore. And the linebackers, 33, Donovan Montague, a 6'3", 220-pound senior. Other linebacker is Dylan Giovine, a 6', 220-pound senior. And the remaining linebacker is number 5, Buster Henderson, a 5'11", 212-pound junior. Lined up in the defensive backfield again is the safety, Logan Jenkins, number 32. The free safety is number 2, Marquise Hamilton. And the corners, number 16, Demetrius Mann, and number 24, Des Hopkins. And, of course, that line rounds up the defensive starters for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. So now let's take a look at the defense of the Urbana Blue Knights. And, of course, they're led by defensive end Michael Tolliver, who's been a very disruptive force and coming off a very strong season last year. He's a 5'11", 220-pound junior. The defensive tackles are number 48, Jamari Collins, a 6'4", 265-pound junior. And number 52, Marcus Amosale, a 6'1", 250-pound junior. And the other end is also another difference maker out there, number 26, Anaje Davenport, a 6'2", 240-pound junior, two-year returning letterman. And again, Anaje, as we said, is quite a playmaker there at the other end with Michael Tolliver opposite. Hard to decide which one of those you want to double. All right, so we're going to take a break from the lineups here as we're going to bring us the national anthem. And we'll join the crowd here.
We welcome Urbana's own Meredith Evans.
Be led by an Urbana.
Meredith is a seasoned professional vocalist whose music
Urbana local
began growing up in Urbana. She is the daughter of Johnny and Peggy Evans. She performs locally at many venues and festivals throughout Ohio and has shared the stage with national artists such as Mint Condition, Eric Benet, and Yolanda Adams, to name a few. Please welcome Meredith Evans to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous tide o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets'
thank you, Meredith Evans, for that great rendition of the national anthem.
All right, so again, a great rendition of the national anthem here for homecoming weekend here on the Urbana campus. And let's get back to the starting lineups for the Blue Knights. We were going over the defensive starters. And the linebacking core, the strong linebacker is 29 Calvin Bransford, 6'2", 205-pound junior. The middle linebacker is L.A. Kelly, a 6-pound, 210-pound sophomore. And we've seen L.A. make a lot of great plays on the season so far. Other linebacker is number 1 DeRay Hall. Again, Hall is a 2-year letterman returner, and again, a 6'1", 220-pound junior. Also a big playmaker on that defense. The strong safety is number 18, Chris Richardson, 6', 190-pound junior. The free safety is number 11, Tobias Haley, the junior, a 6', 170-pound redshirt freshman. And again, we've seen Tobias make a lot of big plays on the defensive secondary this year and coming up in run support, making a lot of big hits. The corners for the Blue Knights, number 23, Sherman Watson, a 5'11", 170-pound junior and 2-year returning letterman. And the other cornerback is number 3, Devontae McKee, a 5'10", 165-pound freshman. All right, so those are your offensive and defensive starters for the Blue Knights. Their specialists, the punt returner and kick returner, is number 9, Khalik Muhammad, who we mentioned earlier. The kicking duties will be handled by number 39, Eric Ware. The punter is number 17, Brandon Perk, who will also be the holder. And the long snapper is number 56, Malachi Short, a 6'1", 235-pound freshman. Your offensive starters for the University of Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. Up front, the left tackle is number 77, Sage McBride, a big 6'6", 288-pound sophomore. Lined up next to him is 66, Tristan Sellers, a 6'2", 288-pound freshman. The center listed as a starter is number 67, Roberto Baird, 6'2", 305-pound senior. The right guard is number 55, Will Pendergraft, a 6'2", 297-pound senior. And the right tackle is 78, Connor Patton, a 6'4", 284-pound senior. The tight end for the Cavaliers is number 83, Seth Phillips, a 6'3", 214-pound freshman. The wide receiver, number 18, Matt Felton, a 5'8", 168-pound redshirt sophomore. Another receiver, number 14, Kyan DeVerger, a 6'6", 207-pound senior. And winding out the wide receiver core, number 3, Alonzo Brown, a 6', 180-pound freshman. Starting running back will be number 17, Jamora Cousin. He's a 6', 215-pound sophomore. And the quarterback for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers is freshman, number 12, Tanner Bernard, and he goes 6', 214. Specialist for the Cavaliers, punt returner will be number 2, Marquise Hamilton. Kick returners are number 29, Chris Pritchett, and number 94, Keoshin Jarrett. The place kicker is number 96, Trevor Owens, and Trevor will also be handling the punting duties today. And the holder is the backup punter, Darian Basco. Long snapper is listed as number 72, Zach Collins, a 5'11", 186-pound sophomore. So, speaking of the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers, looking at their schedule so far this season, they opened August 30th with Glenville State, and they came away with a loss, 17-7. September 8th, they traveled to West Virginia State, and West Virginia State hung on them a 33-12 loss. September 15th, they returned home and faced Concord, who they got their first and only victory this season thus far, 35-20. September 22nd, they traveled to West Liberty, and the Hilltoppers defended their home territory with a 23-17 win. And last week, the 29th of September, they hosted Fairmont State and gave up only 24, but were only able to manage 6, so a 24-6 loss. And of course, this week they travel here to Urbana, followed by next week they host West Virginia Wesleyan. Then on the 20th of October, they'll travel to Charleston. Then November 3rd, they host Notre Dame College, and they round out their season November 10th at Shepherd. Now let's go over the Blue Knights schedule and remaining schedule so far this season. Of course, the Blue Knights opened on Thursday, August 30th, here with a home victory against West Liberty, 29-19, and what was a great game. You can check out the archives on Campus Nation if you would like to watch that game. September 8th, they traveled to Fairmont State, where Fairmont State kind of manhandled the Blue Knights that night and came away with a 45-7 victory. September 13th, again, another Thursday night game here. They hosted Lake Erie, and a game you can catch on the Campus Nation archives, and they got a 27-19 win. And then the week following that, the 20th, they hosted West Virginia Wesleyan, again on a Thursday night tilt, and a big win that night, 42-10. And again, with the loss of Stockett, that was a big game. But the following week, they traveled down to the College of Charleston, led by freshman quarterback Zarin Davis, and he was able to lead them to a 20-14 win. And, of course, as we mentioned, today, October 6th, is the homecoming game here with Virginia-Wise. Next week, they take the trip north, where they'll travel to Notre Dame College along Lake Erie. Then October 20th, they return home, and they'll host Shepherd. October 27th, the Blue Knights will travel to Glenville State for a 12 o'clock kick. Then they return home the following week, November 3rd, and they host West Virginia State at 1 o'clock here at Urbana University Stadium. And the Blue Knights end their season November 10th as they travel to Concord. All right, so again, let's talk about some of the leading stat categories for the Blue Knights this season. And again, as we already mentioned, Khalik Muhammad and the other receivers have been putting up some big numbers, but actual leading receiver is Shamar Hooks, number 12, and Shamar has 15 catches on the season, has 192 yards, averaging almost 13 yards a catch, has 2 touchdowns, and averaging 38.4 yards per game. Khalik Muhammad, as we mentioned, has 11 receptions on the season, already amassed 331 yards for a 30.1 average per catch, has 3 touchdowns on the season, with a long of 85, and again, averaging over 110 yards per game receiving. Other leading receiver for the Blue Knights is Jesse Bray. Again, Bray, a transfer out of Huber Heights, Wayne, and again, Jesse has 9 receptions on the season for 178 yards, averaging just below 20 a catch with 19.8. Bray does lead the Blue Knights in touchdowns receptions with 4, and again, a long of the season on 47, averaging just under 36 yards per game. Again, as we mentioned, Eddie Stockett was the starter for the first 4 games of the season with an efficiency rating of 146.68. He was 58 for 88 with 4 interceptions and 6 touchdowns. Again, 78.9 yards on the season with a 58% percentage. And Zarin Davis, again, the backup, has played 3 games so far, but appeared in 3 games. Has a quarterback rating of 125.24. He is 7 for 20 with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. So that's a 35% completion percentage so far for the young freshman quarterback. He does have 97 yards on the season, again with a long of 51, averaging just over 32 yards per game. Rushing leaders for the Blue Knights, they're led by Isaiah Young with 85 attempts on the season for 363 yards, again averaging about 71 yards per game. And of course, David Hickey has about half that many carries. He has 42 on the season for 186 yards. And again, 1 touchdown and an average of 35.6 per game. Other contributors so far have been Bailey Wallen with 13 carries for 118 yards. Khalil Trotman, who's appeared in 5 games, has 10 carries for 81 yards. But again, Khalil is a explosive player, also listed as a quarterback on the roster. But again, the Blue Knights have found a lot of different ways to get him the football, and I imagine that will continue today. Zarin Davis, again, today's freshman starting quarterback, has 23 attempts on the season. Again, has gained 90 yards and, again, has averaging about 20 yards rushing per game. But, again, Zarin has shown himself to be a threat both on the ground and through the air so far in his limited action this season. Defensive stats for the Blue Knights. Interceptions, both Chris Richardson and Sherman Watson both have 1. They lead the team, and again, there is, they've had 2 interceptions as a team this season. Also in the turnover category, both Boston Sanders and Jamari Collins both have fumble recoveries. And Jamari Collins and David Hickey both have fumble returns for touchdowns. And again, it gives them 2 on the season and 2 touchdowns. Special teams-wise, punt return, Khalik Muhammad has returned 7 punts for 104 yards, averaging 14.9 per return and 1 touchdown, again with a explosive 83-yard touchdown we witnessed here at Urbana University Stadium just a few weeks ago. So we're set for the opening kickoff here again. Your kicker for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers is number 2, Marquise Hamilton.
Trevor Owens will kick off for Wise.
And I'm sorry, it's actually going to be Trevor Owens, the place kicker, number 96. And Trevor's going to be kicking off, and it looks like we've got Khalik Muhammad Deep, as well as number 36 for the Blue Knights, and that is, of course, Joe White. So the kick's away. The kick is going to be fielded by White in the end zone. He takes it out, makes a move up to about the 20-yard line where he's hit by just a host of Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. He's going to be brought down just short of the 20-yard line, so that's where Zarin Davis will lead the Blue Knights here, 1st and 10, from about their own 19.5-yard line. Again, as we mentioned, Eddie Stockett was the starting quarterback, but Zarin took over 2 weeks ago as Stockett was injured and then led them to a win last week in his first game as a starter. And again, Zarin will be looking to continue that here today. So the Blue Knights come out with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Joining the backfield is Isaiah Young, and the give is to Young around the right side. The guard pulls, gets a kick out. Young cuts inside of it, but nice job by the Virginia-Wise defense to swarm to the football. Young's going to gain about, caught a gain of about 4. Going to make it 2nd and 6 now from the 24-yard line of the Blue Knights.
It'll be 2nd and 6.
So again, nice positive way to start the game for the Blue Knights. Want to get some positive momentum going with the freshman quarterback in just his second start. And looks like they've done that already. So 3 wide receivers set this time. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Tight end is to the bottom of the formation. Now Davis brings one of the wide receivers in. The give again is to Isaiah Young. And Isaiah Young hit almost immediately. Going to be stopped for no gain just over the right tackle. So again, that's going to make it now 3rd and 6 for the Blue Knights as they look to pick up their first down of the game.
It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Blue Knights.
So again, the Blue Knights come out now with, looks like they're going to have 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Lone receiver to the bottom is number 6, Jesse Bray. Bray always a playmaker. Young lined up to Davis's right. There's the snap. Zarin looks, throws to his left into the flat. It's complete. Receiver makes a nice move there. Let's get the number.
The goal to play is a first down.
And it looks like it was number 6, Jesse Bray, making the completion and a little move there to pick up the first down. So 1st and 10 now for the Blue Knights from their 35-yard line. Bunch formation to the bottom of the screen there. 1 receiver to the top. Young starts in the pistol, now comes over. There's the handoff around the left end. Isaiah Young finally forced out of bounds, but he's able to pick up a few yards before that happens.
Forced out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
It's going to make it now 2nd, and we'll call it 6 now for the Blue Knights from their own 40-yard line.
It'll be 2nd and 6.
So again, Blue Knights will come right to the line. Now we've got a substitution at running back. Looks like David Hickey's now entered the game. Another 3 receivers set, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. They give us a Hickey around the right end. And just too much penetration by the Virginia-Wise defense. He's hit before he's ever able to really get anything going. That's going to make it now 3rd, and we'll call it a long 5 for the Blue Knights.
It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Blue Knights, ball at the 40-yard line.
And so again, another big 3rd down here for the Blue Knights. They want to keep the momentum rolling here. Have a 4 wide receiver set, 2 to the bottom and 2 to the top of the formation. Hickey, the running back, set up to Davis's right. Davis gets the snap, and we've got a whistle, stoppage of play. Looks like we're going to have a false start against the Blue Knights, so that's going to back them up even more. Now it's going to make it 3rd and about 10. And again, one of those mistakes you don't need when you have a young quarterback trying to gain some confidence here to start the game. So again, a 3rd and long now for the Blue Knights, and let's see what the coaches dial up here on 3rd and long. Again, Urbana not huddling, just kind of hanging around the line, look to the sideline, get the call. It is another 4 wide receiver set, 2 to each, the bottom and the top. Davis gets the snap, drops back, steps up in the pocket, scrambles to his right, has to dump it off, and he does.
Darren Davis.
He finds 21 David Hickey, and Hickey able to pick up about 9, but that's going to leave him just short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1, and let's see what the Blue Knights decide to do. And number 17, Brandon Perk, the punter, trots onto the field, so the Blue Knights will be punting here. All right, deep for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. Looks like it's going to be number 35 for the Cavaliers, and that is Jason Lewis, a 5'11 freshman from Alexandria, Virginia. All right, so Perk gets the snap, step and the kick, low kick, fielded at about the 23, hit immediately and brought down. So that's where the Cavaliers will start, 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line.
31-yard punt. All right, fans.
All right, so while we have a short break here, we're going to just take a minute to remind you that you are listening to us on Campus Nation. You're a sports animal, the home for some of the best small-time, well, big small-time, I would say, college football in the state of Ohio. Of course, our game of the week this week is Urbana University versus the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. And you're also listening to us on 106.9 WZAA, the voice of Jeffersonville.
On your mark.
All right, so again, big homecoming weekend here at Urbana this weekend, and they are also unveiled their new athletic facility right here next to the stadium. They had a ribbon cutting prior to the game, and again, this year, Urbana is going to recognize this year's Hall of Fame inductee, Chris Willis, from the class of '94 at halftime, and of course, we've also got the homecoming court will be announced, and all those great festivities that are a great part of homecoming in college football here in America. So, again, just waiting to get going here again. Virginia-Wise with their first possession of the game. And again, Virginia-Wise also led by a freshman quarterback. And, again, we'll see what kind of action the Cavaliers can get going here to start the game. So Cavaliers also come out in a 4-wide set. 3 wide receivers to the top of the formation. 1 running back set up behind Tanner Bernard. Looks to be Jamora Cousin. Bernard gets the snap. The give is to Cousin. Cousin makes a nice little move over the left tackle and finally hit by number 23.
Victor Mitchell, the ball carrier.
Sherman Watson. Excuse me, that was Victor Mitchell, the running back. And again, Sherman Watson finally forced him out of bounds, but not before he's able to pick up a first down. So Cavaliers come right back to the line of scrimmage with 2 wide receivers each side of the formation this time. Tanner Bernard with the running back to his right gets the snap. Tanner flips to the running back over the right side, but nice job there by, looked to be Najee Davenport, able to drag him down for no gain. So nice job by Najee to seal the edge out there before they could get anything going around the end. All right, so same formation now for the Cavaliers, it looks to be. Actually, we're going to have a tight end now, so we've got a stoppage of play here, and looks like we're going to have some readjustment of the play clock. Now they wind, ready to play. So 1 receiver to the top, 2 to the bottom. There's the snap. The give again is up the middle. Nice little gain for Mitchell. Gain of, we'll call it 4. L.A. Kelly with the wrap up there. Going to make it 3rd and a long 6 here. Gray Hall also went on the tackle for the Blue Knights. All right, so again, 4 wide receiver set, 2 to the top and 2 to the bottom for the Cavaliers. Bernard calls for the ball, drops back, looks, now steps up in the pocket. He's going to try to scramble, but he's going to be sacked. And number 26, Najee Davenport, is the first one there to wrap him up. And again, also joined by Marcus Omasule there on the sack. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and the Cavaliers are going to be forced to punt. And let's see who's deep. It looks to be Craig Burt back deep for the Knights. Again, we haven't seen Burt a lot returning punts, but Burt is a long wide receiver, long arms, long legs, and there's the kick. Burt moves to his left. He's going to watch it bounce, catches it on the bounce, fields it about the 16, Burt with a little juke step there, and he gets it up to about the 40-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Blue Knights from about the 38. So, nice little return there by Burt. Again, let the ball hit, but fielded it cleanly on the bounce. And all right, so we do have a penalty on the Blue Knights running into the kicker, and that's one of the 5-yard varieties, so not going to be enough for the first down, and Virginia-Wise is going to re-kick here. Again, after that return by Burt, I can't say I blame him. So again, Burt's going to get another shot at it. Let's see if he fields this one cleanly or plays this one off the ground again. And the punter for the Cavaliers is 96 Trevor Owens, a 6'2", 222-pound senior. And Owens also does the kicking for the Cavaliers. There's a snap. Kick is up. Maybe a little shorter than the last one. It's going to hit, but again, go out of bounds. Kicks it away from Burt, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 17-yard line after a pretty good Virginia-Wise bounce. So that's where the Blue Knights will take over, 1st and 10 from their own 17-yard line.
Is proud to partner with Mercy Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for all of our sports medicine and orthopedic needs. As the region's leader in rehabilitation, sports medicine, and orthopedic surgery, Mercy Health offers comprehensive care for varsity athletes, club athletes, and weekend warriors. Visit mercy.com.
All right, well, we have a minute. Let's give you some of the games this weekend in the Mountain East Conference. Of course, last Thursday night, I should say, Notre Dame traveled to Fairmont State and squeaked out a 24-21 victory. Today, again, as obviously we have Virginia-Wise at Urbana, a 1 o'clock kick. At noon, Shepherd visited West Liberty. We don't have a score there. Charleston visited West Virginia Wesleyan. Glenville State travels to Concord, also a 1 o'clock kick. And the lone 1:30 kickoff this week, Kentucky State Thoroughbreds travel to West Virginia State. So, border battle with state schools down there. Next week in Mountain East Conference, you got Fairmont State at Shepherd. Findlay is at Charleston. Concord is at West Virginia State. West Liberty travels to Glenville State. Wesleyan travels to Wise. And Urbana makes the trip north to Notre Dame College. So, back to the action here. Again, 1st and 10 for the Blue Knights. They come out with one receiver to each side of the formation. Young lined up now to Zarin Davis's left. There's a snap. They give it to Young up the middle. Young finds a hole, bursts through. He's going to give it about a 12-yard gain. Going to be good for a Blue Knight first down. And again, Blue Knights doing a decent job of moving the chains right there. It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 27-yard line. All right, so 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the field. H-back lined up in the backfield along with Isaiah Young. The give is to Young, this time over right tackle. And Young able to squeeze through a tiny hole, picks up about 2 yards. That's all he's going to get, though. It's going to bring up 2nd and about 8 now for the Blue Knights.
Gain is to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7.
I guess they gave him about 3, so we'll call it 2nd and 7 now from the 32-yard line. All right, we've got 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Young lined up to Zarin Davis's right. Davis calls for the ball. Zarin around the left end, hesitates, little juke step there. Nice job finding the edge there, and it's going to be up almost to the midfield. That's going to be another Urbana first down. So the Blue Knights with a couple first downs right here to start off their next drive. Good thing going here. So 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. So 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top, also a tight end to the top of the formation. Isaiah Young lined up to Zarin Davis's right. Now the receiver goes in motion. The give is to Young around left end. He finds a crease. And wow, lowers his shoulder there and kind of delivers a message as he's forced out of bounds. But again, not before he's able to pick up a big gain. Another Urbana first down. He's going to bring the ball all the way down to the Virginia-Wise. It's like the 36-yard line. So 16-yard gain there by Young around the left end. And again, finishing it with some authority right there. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top now. H-back in the backfield. Give it to Young up the middle. Young picks his hole, gets his feet moving, and he gains about 6 yards. So nice pickup on first down for the Blue Knights. Going to make it 2nd and 4 now from about the 31-yard line of the Cavaliers.
5-yard gain on the play to the 31-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5.
All right, so 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Again, H-back lined up on the right side of the formation. Virginia-Wise shows blitz, and they're coming. Davis forced out, rolls to his right, throws, and very close to an interception. Again, looked like he was looking for Shamar Hooks there, but again, the Virginia-Wise cornerback, Henderson, had a nice break on the ball, and again, if it had been a little stronger throw by Zarin, if he hadn't been scrambling, that probably would have been picked off. So a break there for the Blue Knights as they're able to keep the drive alive here. Now it's going to be a 3rd down for the Blue Knights. Again, from the 31-yard line of the Cavaliers. 3 receivers now to the bottom of the set, 1 to the top. Isaiah Young on Davis's right. And again, the fake to Young, and then he follows him. And Davis takes a big hit there from one of the linebackers, but looks like he's going to be real close to the first down. And don't know if we'll get a measurement here or not. We'll see how close he got. And okay, they're going to give it to him. So first down there by Zarin Davis. And, well, I tell you, he sure earned that one. He took a lick there at the end of the play. But again, good for a Blue Knight first down. So 1st and 10. The drive keeps driving now inside the 30-yard line. And the Blue Knights starting to sniff that end zone. 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. Davis gets the snap. He gives it to Hickey. Hickey now bounces it to the right end. Looks to cut back, but just too much defense there. Again, nice pursuit by the Cavaliers, and they just shut off any cutback lane, and now Young will come back into the game. And after Hickey's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, that's going to be it. So going to make it 2nd and 10 now for the Blue Knights. And looks like we're going to have 1 receiver to each side of the formation. No, I'm sorry, 2 receivers to the top. Now we've got motion on Shamar Hooks to give out of the jet motion around the right end. Flag on the play. Could possibly be holding there on the edge. We'll have to wait and see. But again, Shamar Hooks forced out of bounds after really no gain there. Going to make it now 3rd and 10, but again, we do have a penalty here, so let's see what the assessment will be here. Illegal formation against the Blue Knights there, and that's going to back them up here. Cavaliers will take that, making it 2nd and 15 now.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 31-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 15.
So again, going the wrong direction right now for the Blue Knights. Let's see if they can get another positive play going here. So, all right, we've got Burt and Hooks to the top of the formation. Jesse Bray alone at the bottom. The give is to Young over the left tackle. Young able to pick up about 5, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to make it 3rd and 10 now for the Blue Knights. So again, another big 3rd down here for the Blue Knights. Let's see if they can convert. If not, they'll have to bring on Eric Ware, and so they're certainly within Eric's range right now inside the 30-yard line. We've seen Eric kick some pretty long kicks in warm-ups, so I think he can make this if needed. So another 4 wide receiver set now for the Blue Knights. Isaiah Young lined up to Davis's left. Davis gets the snap, drops back, looks on the left side, one-on-one there on the left side. Oh, and he just missed his receiver. Looks like it was Burt trying to take advantage of the big body there on the one-on-one matchup. Sorry, that was Raphael Floyd, but it does fall incomplete, so that's going to make it now 4th and 11 for the Blue Knights. And let's see if they do opt for the field goal. And it looks like the offense is going to remain on the field. So Jim Cordell here, big play dialed up here on 4th and 11. Let's see what they come up with. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top. Young now shifts into Davis's left side. Davis drops. He's looking to his right. Looks, steps up. Looks, throws to the end zone. Oh, and it's picked off in the end zone. He's going to bring it out. and makes some nice moves, and nice job bringing it out. He's going to get it out almost to the 40-yard line. And we have a flag on the stop, so could be a face mask here. And the return brings it out to the 38. And let's check the penalty here. Okay. Possible horse collar. And the call's unnecessary roughness, which could be the horse collar, could be any number of things there. But either way, that's certainly a big boost for the Cavaliers here. It's going to bring the ball all the way across midfield into Blue Knight territory. So big break by the Cavaliers there on the interception and the penalty on the return. So let's see where the ball is finally marked here. And looks like we've got a conflagration of zebras there as they want to talk over the spot, I would assume here. But again, the Blue Knights have already moved back into their side of the field, so we know it's going to be across the 50. Oh, and Urbana's hit with a sideline warning there, so Urbana needs to be careful there. Could lead to a penalty if they have another one. So yeah, now 1st and 10, Cavaliers from the 46-yard line of the Blue Knights. So very good starting field position for the Cavaliers as they look to convert here and get our first score of the game. So with 3:17 here in the first quarter, again, no one has scored here to start the action. All right, so again, the Cavaliers come out in a 3-wide receiver set, 2 to the top, H-back in the backfield, along with Tanner Bernard. Bernard fakes, and a little throw to the H-back or to the tight end number 83 as he comes around. And
a flag.
It's going to be a nice game, but yeah, we do have a flag on the play, and let's check the flag here. And let's say coming from the backside, it's probably going to be against the offense, and it is. It's holding against number 77. That is the left tackle, Sage McBride. And again, Sage kind of left out on an island there as they run a play right behind him and picks up the holding call. So again, a little help now for the Blue Knights. That's going to back it up and now make it 1st and 20. And more importantly, brings the ball back on the Wise side of the field. So again, Virginia now with 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Bernard gets the snap, looks to his right, throws a little flat screen to the flat, but boy, the Blue Knights are all over that, and that's going to actually go down for a loss. So looks like it was Richardson on the tackle for Urbana. Chris Richardson, the strong safety, coming up, and again, like I said, that's going to back it up even a little more now, and it's going to be 2nd and a mile now for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers.
And I guess Bill is probably going to be tied up through halftime, so I told him not to make the trip up just to be here at the second half. So you got me,
that's
Chuck.
That's right. We don't need him. All right.
I said you had it covered.
Snap now into the left flat, and nice move there. And he's going to cross midfield and get all the way down to the 34-yard line of the Blue Knights. So big play there by Felton.
Big gain on the play in the Blue Knight territory.
And again, able to pick up that long down and distance. Now going to make it 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line of the Blue Knights.
Although AD will be up at halftime.
Okay, so the Blue Knights need to dial up some pressure here and get things going here. 3 receivers to the top of the formation for the Cavaliers. There's the snap. Looks complete over to the right side. And he's going to be driven back there. Finally whistled dead at about the 30, we'll call it the 29-yard line. So decent gain there of about 6 for the Cavaliers. Going to make it now 2nd and 4 from the 29-yard line.
Gain of 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 29.
All right, so 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top. H-back lined up in the backfield, along with the tailback. Bernard calls for the ball, gets it, fakes it, throws to the right side, and nice little quick little screen, and that looked to be diverger there, excuse me, and he's going to be just short of the first down. Going to make it 3rd and 1 now for the Cavaliers. Again, 3rd and 1, big 3rd down here for the Blue Knights. They need to stop. There's the snap, the look, and rule that a catch, and they did. So
Yes.
very nice catch there by 14, Kyan Duverger. That's going to be a first down all the way down to the 23-yard line again. So 1st and 10 Cavaliers from the 23 of the Blue Knights.
Will have a first at the Urbana 22-yard line.
So 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top now for the Cavaliers. There's the snap, the fake. Now pressure, he's forced to his right. Throws to the end zone and going to fall incomplete. And a little bit of tangled legs there out of the receiver and the defender Sherman Watson. But again, no call there, good no call. And that's going to make it now 2nd and 10 for the Cavaliers. And again, Urbana desperately doesn't want to give up a touchdown here inside their own territory.
It'll be 2nd down and 10, ball at the Blue Knight 22.
So again, 2nd and 10 from the 22-yard line. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top for the Cavaliers. There's the snap. And the give this time is to the running back, and that looks to be number 2, Marquise Hamilton, I believe.
Marcus, the ball carrier.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. So, again, after 1, your score 0-0 here at homecoming at Urbana University Stadium. So,
And you made it through the first quarter, Chuck.
I did. Yeah, we all did.
Welcome and pay tribute to some very special guests joining us today. Please join Urbana University.
Boy, it's a perfect day for football.
Yeah, it really is. You know, a little warm today, but beautiful sunshine out here today, and nice homecoming crowd. And again, like we mentioned, the dedication of the new athletic facility here adjacent to the stadium, and new concession stands and restrooms, and I believe locker rooms for both home and visiting teams. So again, nice facility here on the campus, and again, recognizing the family of
There's your first quarter.
Urbana administration that recently passed away. So first quarter stats here. Again, no score in the first half. Urbana did have first downs. Urbana had 5 first downs. Virginia-Wise had 3 rushing yards. Urbana 69. Virginia-Wise with 12. Through the air, the Cavaliers had the advantage, 34-22. As far as total plays, Virginia-Wise has had 11 offensive snaps for 46 yards. The Blue Knights 17 snaps for 91 yards. And again, like we talked about, but all leading to no score here in the first quarter. But Virginia-Wise threatening here as they, again, have a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 from about the 21-yard line of the Blue Knights. So Cavaliers break huddle here, and they line up just waiting for the officials to signal the ball ready for play as we start the second quarter. 2 wide receivers each side of the formation now for the Cavaliers. And Bernard, he's hit the backfield, going to be a fumble. And I'll tell you, a lot of Blue Knights there around the football, especially number 27, Michael Tolliver. And the Blue Knights are signaling they have it. Let's see if the officials agree. They start to unstack the bodies, and a referee actually gets down on the ground. Don't see that every day. He's getting a real good look at this one. So,
yes,
the Blue Knights have it.
There
so,
you go.
Again, they're able to, make a nice defensive stand here. Again, would have been happy just to get away with allowing a field goal, but they forced the turnover. So, again, the Blue Knights pick up right where they left off with another fumble recovery. Again, been the hallmark of this defense so far this season, and they get another one here today. So now going to be 1st and 10, Blue Knights from their own 26-yard line. So let's see what Zarin Davis and the Blue Knights offense can dial up here as they try to be the first to dent the scoreboard here on homecoming weekend. So 2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Again, Isaiah Young lined up behind Zarin Davis. Usually shifts to one side, and he does. He shifts to the right. The give is to Young. Young bounces it around the left side. Going to be chopped down at about the 30-yard line, 31-yard line. So that's going to make it now 2nd, and we'll call it 6 for the Blue Knights. So again, the Knights have done a nice job getting yards on first down. They need to continue that just to try to make these down and distances easier for their freshman quarterback today. All right, so again, 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom of the formation. Young shifts to Davis's right. The snap, the give is to Young. And Young hit immediately. A lot of penetration there by the Virginia-Wise defensive line. And again, just no room for Young to make any kind of move at all. He's going to be driven back. And I guess they'll give him the line of scrimmage. But again, absolutely zero gain there. So third and a long, we'll call it 5 now for the Blue Knights. We could call it a long 4, I guess. We'll have to get Rick's micrometer out.
That's right.
Get the exact measurement. But 2 receivers to the, now going to be 3 receivers to the top of the formation. 1 lone receiver to the bottom. Davis with some final instructions. Now moves Young to his left. Davis drops back, look to his right, throws. Oh! Nice job by the Virginia-Wise cornerback there to break on the ball. And so again, the Cavalier on the interception, and only a double loss there. They've got the big left tackle for the Blue Knights, Chris Hawkins, injured on the play, and they turn over the ball all in the same play. So again, like I said, kind of a double whammy there for the Blue Knights. After getting the ball back on a fumble recovery, they turn around and give it right back to the Cavaliers in their own end of the field. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now after the injury timeout for the Cavaliers from the 30-yard line of the Blue Knights. So 13:42 left here in the half. And again, no one has scored yet, but Virginia-Wise now starting to knock on the door.
So far, it's been a battle of the defenses, I think, Chuck.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, we've been up and down the field, but there have been some turnovers. But it looks like the defense on both sides has risen to the occasion.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Rick. You know, again, we've talked about it all game, but both teams are led by freshman quarterbacks, and I think because of that, we've seen both offenses kind of stall out today. And, you know, again, some tough defensive play, though. You're right, Rick. And we've had several turnovers already, and you know, I expect that the tough defensive play is going to continue, but I'm sure these offenses are going to get on track here once some adjustments are made here as time progresses in this game. So, again, like we mentioned, great homecoming crowd here. It's like a free pizza being given away right now. People fired up down there. And
I think we have pizza at halftime, Chuck.
Let's hope we do. Yeah.
I thought we were working up to steak. We had hamburger last week. I thought this week for homecoming we'd have steak. What is it? Maybe there's steak on the pizza.
Well, we can only hope, Rick. We can only hope. So.
Anything with pineapple.
And we have a winner.
Yeah, okay.
No Hawaiian, huh?
I like pineapple on pizza. I sure do. Yeah. So,
what about anchovies?
Never had it. But I can't imagine that I would like it. I wouldn't want to look at it. So, 1st and 10
You'd have to
Cavaliers.
eat it with your eyes closed. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe my mouth as well. So 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. And let's see what they come out in here and do here to start the drive. So Bernard with a snap to give to the running back, and that is number 17, Jamora Cousin. Cousin around the left tackle.
Didn't get much.
No, he sure didn't. Got back to just about the line of scrimmage, and they'll give him that. But number 95, Big Wendell Wheeler's helmet came off for the Blue Knights, so he's going to be forced to leave the field for one play. So get a brief stoppage for that. Now we have 2 receivers to the bottom, 1 to the top for the Cavaliers. Bernard signals for the ball, gets the snap, drops back, looks, and boy, pressure coming hard, but he's able to find his receiver right up the seam, and that is number 7 for the Cavaliers. That's Eli Marks, and Marks just found that seam there, and nice job by Bernard to hit him, and that's going to be good for a first down. In fact, going to bring up 1st and goal now from the 9-yard line. So, and the Blue Knights defense kind of in a state of shock right now.
First down, Cavaliers. Ball at the Blue
need to
Knights
make a big
8-yard
stop
line.
here. So again, 1st down, 1st and goal from the 8 for the Cavaliers, and a little bit of misdirection in the backfield, and the give is to number 27.
Mitchell, the ball carrier.
And check that. I believe that is 27, Caleb Grant, but either way, gets it down to the 4-yard line where it's not going to be 2nd and goal from the 4. So again, the Cavaliers putting together a pretty decent drive here after the turnover. Looks for the corner of the end zone. Oh, and looked like a little push off there by the receiver, Kyan DeVerger, and there is a flag down. Let's see if that is the call.
So maybe a little offensive.
Yeah, a little OPI, kind of a rare call, but again, it was pretty obvious, at least to this commentator, that he had a little extra help getting a separation, and that is the call there. Again, it is against Divergent, so that's going to back up the Cavaliers now, and it's going to make it 2nd and goal. Let's see where they spot the football.
The penalty on the Cavaliers will move the ball back to nearly the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it brings it all the way back to the 19-yard line, so big break there for the Blue Knights. Now 2nd and goal from the 19. So the Cavaliers go back to a more conventional set for them. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. And the lone receiver is Divergent down at the bottom. Let's see if they use that height, but no, they don't. Roll out to the left, and
Bernard's pass is incomplete.
Bernard tried to hit his receiver in the flat, but it's a little high there. Bernard tried to throw on the run. Couldn't quite get it down. And James, the intended receiver, but again, high and falls harmlessly out of bounds. So now 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line. Again, Wise looks to the sideline, looks for a call here. Looks like the personnel grouping will remain the same, so Blue Knights don't get a substitute.
That means 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line for the Cavaliers.
All right, Cousin in the backfield along with quarterback Tanner Bernard, and Virginia-Wise decides they want to get a better look at it. They call a timeout, so first timeout of the half. Again, 12-12 here to go in the first half, and again, your score is currently 0-0, but again, Virginia-Wise with a 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line, and again, I'm sure kicker Trevor Owens is over there warming his leg up because this could be a tough conversion here for the Cavaliers. Again, beautiful homecoming Saturday here as the Urbana Blue Knights host the University of Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. And again, the Cavaliers have had the better of this matchup historically, but and the Blue Knights come in today with a better record and better stats and everything else. And the paper says that they should come home with a homecoming victory. But again, these Cavaliers are playing them tough, and again, Virginia-Wise looking to be the first team to dent the scoreboard here today. All right, so timeout is over. Teams come back to the field, and again, still 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line, and you're going to go 3 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Interesting note here, number 14, DeVerger is now to the top of the formation. He had been the lone receiver previously. And the quarterback drops back, and tries to hit a crossing pattern intended for number 7, Eli Marks, but again, falls harmlessly incomplete. That's going to make it 4th and goal from the 19, and the Cavaliers bring on the kicking unit onto the field. So, again, number 96, Trevor Owens, the 6'2", 222-pound senior, set to attempt a field goal, and let's see, looks like it's going to be about a 36-yarder.
They will attempt a 36-yard field goal.
There's the snap. The hold is down, and no. I don't know if they got a piece of that or what, but boy, it never looked right. Curled left and just kept going there. Looked like one of Rick's tee shots there. A severe duck hook there. Going to make it now 1st and 10 for the Blue Knights.
It's been a while since I played golf, maybe 30 years.
Yeah, I believe it, for you hit shots like that. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20, so... Again, full disclosure, if Rick hasn't played golf in 30 years, I've never seen him hit a shot. But,
that's true. That's right. Since you're, 22?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'll go with that. So, plus or minus. But 1st and 10 now for the Blue Knights as they take over from the 20-yard line. And, Blue Knights looking to get something going here. They've had some first downs, but have yet to been able to put enough together to get in the end zone here.
So do you think that errant kick was
jet motion
had
there.
something to do with maybe some pressure?
Yeah, it's quite possible. Quite possible. So Bray on a jet motion there gets the handoff, and Bray around the right edge picks up Well, let's see where they finally mark it. I would have called it a...
23-yard line.
Looks like they're just going to give him 4. I guess he stepped out earlier than I thought. I'd have given him about 2 more, but that's why they're spotting on the field and I'm spotting up here in the booth. All right, so second and we'll call it 7 now for the Blue Knights. Again, 2 receivers on each side of the formation for Zarin Davis. Young now shifts to his left side. Little option, and Davis flips it quickly after the bad snap. And Young tries to get wide, but nice job by the Cavaliers there.
Yeah, great defense.
Number 33, Donovan Montague, read that all the way, and looks like he had the pitch man on the option and had good leverage. And again, Young just didn't have anywhere to go. So again, third and actually a loss of a yard. They're going to make it 3rd and 7 now for the Blue Knights. And again, if nothing else, the Blue Knights really need to try to get some field position flipped here because they are deep in their own territory right now. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom of the formation. Young shifts to Davis's left. Davis drops back, looks down the left sideline. Oh, and just a little too long for Jesse Bray there. Bray really not able to get any separation there. Been a tough catch if the throw would have been a little closer, but falls harmlessly incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th and 7 now for the Blue Knights, and of course they're going to kick now. The punted away here. Brandon Perk enters the field, and Perk is standing inside his own 10. He's going to boot this one away. So again, the Cavaliers look to pick up some excellent field position off of this punt. There's the snap. Good snap. Perk steps and kicks. It's a high kick. Nice kick, goes all the way down, hits the 30, but takes a wise bounce to about the 33-yard line, and that's where it's going to roll out of bounds. So right at the 34-yard line, that's where the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers will take over. 1st and 10. So again, 10:30 to go here in the first half, and again, a defensive struggle is broken out here today. As we've seen a couple first downs, but we've seen some turnovers, and we've seen absolutely 0 points here so far today.
Yeah, it's been an interesting struggle here.
Yeah, it really has. Again, we've seen this Urbana offense can turn potent in a second, but they've had their struggles so far today. Again, like we said, they picked up first downs, but just have not been able to put enough together to get a good drive going. So, again, that's going to make it 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers, again, from about their own 34-yard line when we return to action. But, again, we've got a timeout on the field here, a media timeout. And so while we're in this media timeout, again, I will take a second just to remind you that you are watching us on Campus Nation or on the Urbana Sports Network. And you could also be listening to us on WZAA 106.9 LPFM, the voice of Jeffersonville.
And, of course, those at UVA-Wise are also listening or watching us on the stream that they're picking up.
Also, we're linked in through Virginia-Wise, too.
That's right. So we got the whole ball of wax there. So be careful what you say. You may have some bad comments at the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't want any hate mail from Virginia. That's a beautiful state. But Virginia's for lovers, right? So I'm sure
that's what I heard.
They won't be too negative.
I heard that.
2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. There's a snap. They give it to the running back, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. And Mitchell maybe falls forward for half a yard, but not much there as DeRay Hall able to swallow him up quickly for the Blue Knights. So going to make it 2nd, and we'll call it 9 now for the Cavaliers.
We'll call it 2nd and long 9.
2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Bernard surveys the defense. Signals for the ball. There's the snap. He drops back. Big time pressure, and he's going to go down. Michael Tolliver with another sack for this Blue Knights defense. And again, like we talked about, this has been a dominant part of the Blue Knights game plan all year, and they just continue. Again, hard to block both Anaje Davenport and Michael Tolliver at the same time. And right there, they show just how hard it can be. With Michael Tolliver coming around the left end like his hair was on fire, and able to sling down Bernard for a nice loss now, 3rd and about 16 or 17 for the Cavaliers. 3 receivers to the top. There's the give. Looks like it is Mitchell again, and Mitchell drugged down from behind. He's able to get out across the 30-yard line to about the 33-yard line, but again, he'll be drugged down there. well short of the first down. Going to bring up 4th and 12, and the Cavaliers are going to be forced to punt. And Trevor Owens trots back onto the field. So the returner for the Blue Knights, again, is going to be Craig Burt, the long, leggy wide receiver for the Blue Knights. Again, Burt is a 6'4" sophomore out of Huber Heights, Ohio. There's the snap and the kick, and Burt moves to his left. He's not going to field this one. He lets it bounce, and the Cavaliers pick it up on the bounce at about the 32-yard line, and after a 36-yard punt, the Blue Knights will take over from their own 33-yard line, 1st and 10, with 8:38 to go left in the half. Again, no score here today yet.
This is probably as far as we've gone into any Urbana Blue Knights game where there's been no score.
Yeah, I
Usually
think
they're
you're right.
scoring in the first quarter.
Yeah, you're right. The offense has had their struggles today at times, but again, you know, they have had some first downs and had some drives. They just need to complete it now. So Davis with the give to Isaiah Young.
The ball carrier.
Young picks his way up through the line and gets up to just past the 35-yard line and up to about the 36. So that's where it'll be second and 7 now for the Blue Knights. Again, from their own 36-yard line. 2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Tight end also to the bottom of the formation. Young now shifts and lines up to Davis's left. Davis now brings the receiver in motion from the bottom, and
That's motion?
that was motion, I believe, unless they're going to call it a false start. And yeah, one of the linemen got a little head start there, and so that's going to back up the Blue Knights. Going to make it now 2nd and about 11. 2nd and 11 and a half, I would say, Rick, with your micrometer.
That's right, 11 and a half.
So again, Blue Knights going the wrong direction on that one. And again, another big wide receiver for the Blue Knights is Calvin Blair, number 80, a 6'3", 190-pound freshman from Worcester, who's also getting some action here. Again, he's the solo receiver to the bottom of the formation here with 3 receivers in a bunch now to the top. And Davis joined in the backfield by Young. Young now shifts over to Davis's right side. There's the snap. Davis gives to Young around the, fake. Little zone read, and Davis keeps it, but nice job by Virginia-Wise there, playing their responsibilities. And the linebacker, number 50, Dylan Giovanni, with the stop there.
No gain.
So no gain, and going to be 3rd and 12 now for the Blue Knights. And again, like we talked about, really need to get a first down here to kind of get some field position flipped here, if nothing else. All right, so Davis now looks to the sideline, gets another call there, makes some adjustments to the line. 3 receivers to the top. There's a snap. Davis drops back, looks down the right side, and throws. Short completion, going to bring it up to about the 38-yard line, but that's going to be well short of a first down.
Well short of the first down.
And the Blue Knights are going to be forced to punt here with just about 6.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Punt formation for the Blue Knights.
And it looks like
back deep for the Cavaliers.
The returner for the Cavaliers looks to be Lewis. There's the snap. The kick's away. A nice kick there by Perk. Drives him all the way back. He's going to field on about the 12. Makes a move, but hit immediately and brought down.
Returner brought down immediately.
Well, I'll tell you, really nice special teams tackle there by, I look to be number 3, Devontae McKee, I believe, there on the stop. And
if you like defense, you've loved this game so far.
Yeah, that's right.
This is absolute incredible defense on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, been some good football out there today. So Cavaliers are going to take over 1st and 10 now inside their own, or right at their, we'll call it the 16-yard line, I guess. And there's the give around the left end. And that's going to be good for
Cousin, the ball carrier.
Check the spot. It looks like Cousin got back to the line of scrimmage and maybe crossed it for half a yard there before L.A. Kelly knocks him down, and it's going to make it 2nd and a long 9 now for the Cavaliers from their 16-yard line. Cavaliers come out with it's like a 4 wide receiver set, with 3 to the bottom. Looks to the single receiver side, it's complete.
Bernard's pass is complete.
Bernard gets it up for about a 6-yard gain before he's forced out of bounds, and
Sherman Watson with the tackle.
we'll call it now 3rd and 4 for the Cavaliers.
It'll be 3rd down and 4, ball at the 21-yard line.
Again, Cavaliers stick with that 3 receiver and 1 receiver to the top look here.
If she would have had the money, I would have taken the money. But that was just a raffle ticket. Now, if that was the winner, I would have taken that.
Rick, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. All right, so 3rd and 4 now for the Cavaliers. Night show blitz, and they're coming. Oh, and I'll tell you.
Bernard's pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down for the Cavaliers.
Could have been close to another offensive pass interference call there, I believe. But
winning number 197.
no flags or anything. Going to make it 4th and 4 for the Cavaliers. And the punting unit comes onto the field again, led by number 96, Trevor Owens.
But the last name apparently is Bruce, her first name. 197-983.
So it wasn't me that won the raffle.
Owens in punt formation.
I was concerned, Rick.
I know.
Craig Burt.
All right, so again, the Cavaliers set the punt here. There's a snap, step, kick, wobbly kick, low. Burt's going to let it bounce, and it takes a nice bounce for the Blue Knights. Going to bounce all the way back to the Cavaliers' 41-yard line, where they'll finally down it, and that's where the Blue Knights will take over with some really good field position here.
That was a homecoming bounce there.
That's right. With 4:40 to go here in the first half, Blue Knights take over from the Virginia-Wise 41-yard line. So again, Zarin Davis brings the Blue Knight offense onto the field. Three receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top. Isaiah Young lined up to the left of Davis. Davis gets the snap. The give is to Young. Young aims for the right tackle, and looks like we may have a fumble there. Virginia-Wise thinks we do.
That's what they're saying.
And the ball just got ripped out, so looks like it's going to remain with the Blue Knights. So after a very short gain up to about the 40-yard line, it's going to be 2nd and 9 now for the Blue Knights. Same formation for the Blue Knights, 3 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Young on Davis's left. There's the snap. Zarin Davis is hit and fumbled. Picked up by a big D lineman, and he's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and big man right there. Lyman's dream, touchdown. It looks like that was big number 99, Rondre Knowles-Tenner. Again, with a, big 55-yarder. And I'll tell you, they were not going to catch Tenner.
That was pretty fast.
It sure was. I'll tell you, we got a flag. It looks probably on the Virginia-Wise celebration, but I'm sure right now they're thinking, so what? After that play, big play by this Virginia-Wise defense. Gets them in the driver's seat now. They're up 6-0 with 3:50 to go here in the first half.
He ran as fast as Dean runs up here at halftime to get pizza.
Maybe that fast. All right, so it is a sideline warning of Virginia-Wise, so there'll be no penalty assessed. But just remember, both teams so far now do have one of those, so the next one will be a penalty. Owens in now to attempt the PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. So with that kick, Virginia-Wise has now, they've now upped their offensive output from the last game by 1 point. So again, it's now Virginia-Wise Cavaliers 7, Urbana Blue Knights 0 with 3:50 to go here in the first half.
And also, members of the Urbana University Hall of Fame should head down near the field because we're going to introduce all the UU Hall of Famers in attendance, and our newest Hall of Famer, Chris Willis.
All right, so again, big festivities here at halftime. You've got the homecoming court and the announcements, and also the induction of the Urbana University Hall of Fame's newest member, and also a recognition of all the current Urbana Hall of Fame members. So again, it'll be a nice festivity here at halftime of homecoming weekend.
And we'll have it all.
And we'll bring it all to you right here on Campus Nation, or the Urbana Blue Knights Sports Network, or our friends in Virginia will get to know a little bit more about Urbana's rich athletic history. All right, so Owens set to kick off now.
Calvin Blair will be back deep for the Blue Knights. That was correct.
All right, back deep for the Blue Knights looks to be Calvin Blair, and
have a little problem keeping
get that other number there.
The ball on the tee.
Yeah, a little windy down there today. All right, so gonna get a holder there set up. So hopefully for the Blue Knights, that'll subtract a little bit from this kick distance. Owens gives the signal, approaches the ball, the kick is up. It's a high kick, going to be fielded inside the 10-yard line, and brings it up the middle, and nice little return up past the 30-yard line.
Out to around the 30-yard line.
And it looked like, was that 80? That was Calvin Blair on the return. Again, Blair, a big 6'3", 190-pound freshman out of Worcester. Brings it up to the 31, and that's where the Blue Knights will take over here with 3:42 to go in the half. Again, your score, Virginia-Wise 7, Urbana 0. So 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 to the top.
Our website went down.
Our what?
Our live stream went down.
Did it?
It's not live stream anymore.
And a lot of confusion there on that one.
Offense, number 67.
A couple minutes ago,
Five-yard
it came up
penalty,
with a thing
first
that said
down.
poor connection, and it's not live now. So
The penalty will go back to the 26-yard line.
All right, so procedural penalty against the Blue Knights, and that's going to back them up 5 now and make it 1st and 15. So
Right. So
not the start that the Blue Knights were looking for sure.
we're still streaming to YouTube and to Campus Nation. So if you're listening or you're missing the stream, you can go to campusnation.com, or you can go to YouTube and text in.
And Davis
search
with a
for
throw to the right side, and it's a little low, and looks like, I believe was that Hooks out there on that side?
Intended for J.T. Dozier.
Actually, that was J.T. Dozier, 14, and Davis's pass a little low. Dozier tried to scoop it up, but referee ruled that it did hit the turf, so that's going to make it now 2nd and 15 for the Blue Knights after the penalty on previous first down, I should say. So 3 wide receivers set for the Blue Knights to the top, 1 to the bottom. Davis gets the snap, and he's going to run it up the middle, makes a nice little spin move. Needs to tuck that ball away, kind of carrying it out there a little loose, but gets it all the way up almost to the 40-yard line, and nice decision there by Zarin Davis to tuck that one and get what he could, and going to get them in a third and a long 3 now coming up for the Blue Knights, but a lot better position than they were in just one play ago. Two receivers to the top of the formation. Now Young moves to the right. Davis fakes to Young, now keeps it. Young picks up a block, and he gets it up almost to midfield, and that's another first down by the Blue Knights. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line here as the drive continues.
It'll be first down, the Blue Knights ball at their own 49-yard line.
Let's see what they dial up. Khalik Muhammad in the slot to the top of the formation. Davis with the snap. The give is to Young around the right side. Young gets the corner. Now turns up, and
flag down on the field.
It's going to be a nice game. But we've got a flag in the backfield, and I'm guessing that it's going to be holding against the Blue Knights, and it is.
Good guess.
So that's going to back up the offense 10 more yards, but it will remain first down. So 1st and 20 now for the Blue Knights, but Again, they lose valuable field position. They're pushed back to their own 39-yard line.
39-yard line. Where it'll be first and 20.
So again, first and 20 from the 39-yard line. 4 wide receivers set for the Blue Knights. Young moves to the left. Davis gets the snap, drops back, looks, throws down the left side, and
Davis's pass is incomplete.
Intended for number 22, Raphael Floyd, but again, just a little out of Floyd's reach there. Falls harmlessly incomplete, so that's going to make it now second and 20. Again, from their own 39-yard line. So, again, Urbana has two plays here to chip away at this, but hopefully they can pick up a first here in 2 plays. Get a couple chunks here. So 2-by-2 look for the Blue Knights. Young to Davis's right. Davis looks down the left and complete to Bray along the left sideline, and Bray almost up to the original line of scrimmage. Going to leave them with a 3rd and about 12 or 13. Now just short of midfield at about the 46.5-yard line.
3rd and 12 for Urbana. Ball at its own 47-yard line.
So again, like we talked about, they didn't need to get it all in one play, but they left themselves a pretty sizable chunk here on 3rd down. So 2-by-2 look for the Blue Knights. The snap, he looks to the left sideline and in the area of Bray, but throws it well over his head. So that's going to make it 4th and long now, and the Blue Knights are going to bring in the punting unit again. Again, Perk comes in to attempt another punt now. And we are inside the 2-minute mark here in the first half. 1:51 to go here.
Back deep for the Cavaliers.
As Urbana set to kick away here. There's the snap, step, kick. Perk with a decent kick. Going to be fielded on about the 8-yard line and hit immediately. And going to be spotted at about the 6-yard line. And that's where the Cavaliers will take over, 1st and 10 with 1:42 to go. So again, short time on the clock and a lot of field to cover for the Cavaliers. Let's see if the Blue Knights can shut them down right here and get into halftime down by 7. Or maybe even force a 3-and-out and get the ball back.
Ball spotted at about the
Again, Urbana does have all 3 of their timeouts.
It'll be 1st down for the Cavaliers.
Cavaliers come out in a 2 wide receiver set, one to the top and one to the bottom of the formation. H-back and running back in the backfield to give this to the running back, and he's going to attack the left side, but
The ball carrier.
again, probably not going to get past the line of scrimmage, maybe just past it. Make it 2nd, and we'll be generous and call it a long 9 now for the Cavaliers as the clock continues to roll here. About 1:20 to go here in the first half. Cavaliers with a snap and the give again to the back, and nice little run, going to get it up almost to the 1st down marker. In fact, looks like it is going to be a 1st down by Purvis, and it is. They move the chains, so again, with 1:01 to go now, the Cavaliers have a little breathing room. Let's see if they decide to open it up here with 1 minute and 1 second and 2 timeouts to go here in the first half. Leading by 7-0. There's the snap, and it is going to be another run as the Cavaliers keep it on the ground. And
Purvis is stacked up near the line of
Purvis is swarmed by the Blue Knights defense, and I'll tell you, Purvis knocked down there. He forward progress was stopped. It was blown dead, but he never hit the ground. So we do have a timeout called now with 48 seconds to go here. Urbana uses their first timeout. It's going to be 2nd and 8 when we return with 48 seconds to go. So again, Urbana looks like they may be trying to force a kick here. Another shot at the ball, see what they can do here.
Hall of Fame, Chris Willis.
Again, 2nd and 8 now, 48.1 seconds ago here in the first half
Please be ready to go out on the field at halftime.
at Urbana University
And we
today.
will crown some royalty today.
Again, our homecoming royalty being crowned at halftime here today on campus. And again, another addition to the Urbana University Hall of Fame here at halftime, as well as recognition of all members here in attendance today. All right, so again, 2nd and 8 here as the Cavaliers return to the field and the Blue Knight defense lines up here. There's the snap, and it's a run again and hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. Stacked up and driven back, and they're going to give him about 2 yards forward progress, but another timeout by Urbana is going to make it 3rd and about 6 here with 42.1 seconds. So again, if Urbana can manage a stop, they are going to get the ball back here. It won't be a lot of time, but again, a shot to get in the end zone with some what should be decent field position here if they are able to force this punt. All right, again, so 42.1 seconds left here in the half, and you're joining us on Campus Nation, and we are experiencing some technical difficulties.
I think we've got it cleared up now. So
on our
one of the
sister networks.
Yeah, one of the things that we want to make sure that everybody realizes, our YouTube stream and on Campus Nation, all we send is our logo. Everything as far as the score bug, if you want to see that, you can go back now to the Blue Knights website or to your feed from UVA-Wise, and you should be able to pick that up now. We're back up on that
All right,
channel.
there you go. So as soon as I speak, it's already fixed, and going to make it 3rd and 7 now for the Cavaliers from about the 21.5-yard line. Again, 42 seconds ago here, the Blue Knights looking for a stop, and the give is to the left side, hitting the backfield, driven back, and quickly whistled the timeout after the loss of about 2. And again, with 36 seconds to go here, Urbana's going to get the ball back here, and after the punt, they're going to have about half a minute probably, or just under half a minute, with what should be decent field position to try to get down the field and set up a field goal or even a potential game-tying touchdown here to end the first half. All right, so again, if you're just joining us, again, we are almost to halftime here. We have 36 seconds to go here in the first half. The Virginia-Wise Cavaliers lead the Urbana Knights 7-0. 4th down, and Urbana brings in Khalik Muhammad to field this kick. And again, we know how dangerous Khalik is back there as a punt returner. He'll be looking to make a big play here, I'm certain. So Trevor Owens, deep and punting formation. Again, Khalik Muhammad, the returner. The kick is up, and Muhammad's going to have a shot at this one. Oh, and he doesn't field it cleanly. Picks it up finally at about the 30-yard line. Runs all the way to his left, and well, I'll tell you, nice job by Virginia-Wise to contain that. Number 94 able to maintain an angle on him and force him out of bounds. And I'll tell you, 94 for the Cavaliers, that's big Keyshawn Jarrett, the big 6'3", 205-pound freshman defensive end, and showing his athleticism right there as he's able to race Khalik Muhammad to the corner right there and force him out of bounds. So 23.5 seconds to go here in the first half, and the Blue Knights take over now, 1st and 10, from about their own 40-yard line. 4 wide receivers set, 2 to the top and 2 to the bottom. Davis moves Young to his left. Davis gets the snap, drops back, now rolls to his left, looks, throws down the left sideline. It's going to go harmlessly incomplete out of bounds. Number 87 for the Blue Knights.
It'll be 2nd and 10, ball at the 40-yard
Justin
line.
Dennis was the closest to the ball, but again, never really a chance on that one. Davis just throwing it away. So again, 17 seconds now left in the half. Urbana with no timeouts. Virginia-Wise does have 2. 4 wide receiver set for the Blue Knights. Davis gets the snap, drops, looks, throws on the left sideline. Oh!
Darren Davis's pass.
And it falls incomplete.
Looked like it bounced off a helmet or something.
Yeah, I think it did. You're right. And again, intended for Dennis, but Marcus Terror, on the coverage.
At the 40-yard line.
And Terror with a nice job just shielding the receiver, from any opportunity to catch the football. So, with just over 11 seconds remaining here in the first half, it's going to make it 3rd and 10 now for the Blue Knights. Again, 2-by-2 look. Running back to the left. Davis drops back, steps up in the pocket, looks, throws down the right side, and falls incomplete again. Intended for Justin Dennis, but Dennis not able to get really close to the football. It falls harmlessly incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th and 10 now. And it's going to bring Brandon Perk back on the field. So, with just under 6 seconds left, the
not taking any chances.
Yeah, the Cavaliers will probably not get an offensive playoff here. So they need to try to do something on this punt return if they're going to do something before the half. There's the snap. Perk's kick is up, high kick, and they're going to let this one hit and bounce, and finally going to work its way out of bounds. And it's going to be down at the 10-yard line, and time will expire. So, again, that is your first half. So, again, your halftime score, the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers 7, Urbana Blue Knights 0. As we enter halftime, and, again, our halftime festivities here on Urbana campus.
Busy here.
That's right. So, big happenings going on here in Blue Knight country today.
And Dean has already left his camera heading up here for the pizza.
All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Right. AD will probably be up here in just a little while.
We're going to, again, bring you some of the sights and sounds of halftime and the Blue Knights homecoming celebration. So we hope you enjoy that. And we'll be back at the beginning just before the second half.
All Blue Knight Hall of Famers in attendance, please come out on the field. Out at the 50-yard line, we have some members of the UU Hall of Fame. When I call your name, please step forward. Bob Colley, class of 2005. I don't see Elgin Card or Dave Ross out there. Dave Guston. Brian Boysel, class of 2011. Tom Bemis, class of 1992. Jim McCracken, class of 1990. There's also some guy named Steve Stout who's on the PA right now, class of 2006. And now let's meet the latest member of the Blue Knight Hall of Fame. We are honored and excited to introduce this year's newest inductee, a 1994 UU graduate and former football player, Chris Willis. Chris is a native of Columbus, Ohio, and becomes the 40th member of the UU Athletic Hall of Fame. A 4-year member of the Blue Knight football program, Willis was hired in NFL Films shortly after graduating with his physical education degree from UU. He has served as the head of the research library at NFL Films since 1996. Besides running the research library at NFL Films, Willis has become one of the foremost historians of pro football. Over the past 2 decades, he has had 6 books published with an emphasis on early pro football history. I thank Urbana University and the Hall of Fame Committee for this great honor, Chris said. My time at UU was a tremendous 4 years of my life. Not only did I get a chance to play college football, but I also received a great education that prepared me for life after college. Another note, I believe Chris Willis will be the only Emmy winner in the Blue Knight Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for Chris Willis and the rest of the Blue Knight Hall of Famers. All right, homecoming court is up next. All right, let's meet our homecoming court for 2018. First, let's welcome Audrey Pumford. Is a junior majoring in biology chemistry from St. Charles, Michigan. Her future career plans are to do research or technical sales. She's also a member of the Blue Knight volleyball team, a leader in Knights for Christ, and a resident assistant in Hazard Hall. Let's welcome Ethan Snap. Ethan is a junior from Newport, Kentucky, majoring in strategic management. He's a member of the men's basketball team and would one day like to own his own basketball-related business. Ethan Snap. Let's meet Madison Davis. She's a senior AYA English education major who plans to be a high school English teacher after graduation. She's a member of the volleyball team, a presidential scholar, an honors college member, the vice president of Sigma Tau Delta, lead RA, and a tutor in the Student Success Center. Madison Davis. Now let's meet Marcus Amasula. He's a sophomore majoring in criminal justice from Miamisburg, Ohio. His future plans are to become a juvenile probation officer. He's a member of the football team, Knights for Christ, and intramural sports. Marcus Amasula. Let's meet Kyla Swanson. She's an exercise science major from Westerville, Ohio, with career plans on becoming a physical therapist. Kyla is a member of the softball team here at Urbana. Kyla Swanson. Now let's meet John Terrius J.T. Dozier. He's a junior from Dayton, Ohio. He is majoring in exercise science and plans on becoming a physical therapist. He's a member of the Blue Knight football team. J.T. Dozier. Now let's meet Mia Smallwood. She's a first-year student from Pickerington, Ohio, majoring in exercise science. Her future career plans are to become a nutritionist and an athletic trainer with hopes of owning her own business for training, rehabilitation, and nutrition for athletes. She is a member of the women's softball team. Mia Smallwood. Let's meet Ryan Townsend. He's a sophomore from Vandalia, Ohio. He's majoring in secondary education and plans to become a teacher and a high school athletic director. He is also a member of the baseball team. Ryan Townsend. Now let's meet Jenna Van Hoos. She's a senior from Zanesfield, Ohio, majoring in sports management. She plans to attend school in Florida for a master's degree in sports management. During her time at Urbana, she has been a member of the softball team, along with Knights for Christ, and helping out in the community through various community service projects. Jenna Van Hoos. And our final member of the court, Brandon McCrae. Brandon is a junior from Imlay City, Michigan, and a junior majoring in criminal justice with future plans to attend graduate school and become an FBI agent. He is a member of the baseball team, president of the Student Athletic Advisory Council, and vice president of the Social Behavior Science Club. Brandon McCray. And now we come to the point where we crown the king and queen. All right, our Blue Knight homecoming queen for 2018 is Madison Davis. Let's hear it for Madison Davis. And our Blue Knight homecoming king is Brandon McCray. Let's hear it for our king and queen, Brandon McCray and Madison Davis. Congratulations.
They definitely stuffed the box, for sure.
Also in the house today, another Blue Knight Hall of Famer who has just arrived, Judge Roger Wilson.
All right, we're just about just under 8 minutes remaining before we start this second half of play. Wise is up 7-0 over the Blue Knights. And if we have any interesting scores at Mount game, Mount Union. Oh, it's like they brought us our money.
How we doing?
Well, guess it's not for us.
All right, so
Gonna plug in some plugs here.
back to our live coverage here after a short halftime break and looking at some of the festivities going on here on the beautiful Urbana University campus here for homecoming weekend. Give you some scores around college football. Some finals from Thursday night. Of course, Troy State beat Georgia State 37-20. Houston knocks off Tulsa 41-26. Friday action. Georgia Tech big over Louisville 66-31. Also, Middle Tennessee knocks off Marshall by 10, 34-24. Utah State beats BYU in the Battle of the Beehive State 45-20. Some action today. East Carolina visits Temple, and Temple's up big time over the Pirates 42-3 right now. In Buffalo, it is Buffalo 24, Central Michigan 17. That's in the third quarter. Some Big Ten action. Rutgers travels to Champaign, and they are presently trailing the Illini in the third quarter, 24-14. The Bearcats of Cincinnati are up on the Tulane Green Wave, 30-14, with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. And out of the South, Missouri up on South Carolina, 23-21, in a dogfight there midway through the third quarter. In the battle of the Michigan directional schools, Eastern Michigan leads Western Michigan 17-14. They're also in the third quarter. A Big Ten matchup, Michigan up 10-7 over Maryland. So just getting ready to go. Just a few minutes left in the first half there. So kind of a surprise there. The Terrapins giving the Wolverines all they want and a little more there, it sounds like. West Virginia is hosting the Kansas Jayhawks. Mountaineers are currently up 21-14. Just about a minute left in the third there. Texas in Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. Texas leads Oklahoma 38-24, about midway through the third quarter. Your nation's number one team currently, the Alabama Crimson Tide, up big on the Arkansas Razorbacks, 48-14, also in the third quarter. More Big Ten action. Number 20 Michigan State is on the road at Northwestern. They lead 19-14 in the third quarter. Boston College trails NC State 21-3 in the third quarter. And, of course, some 3:30 starts. Florida State travels to Miami, and that'll be a 3:30 kick. Iowa State at Oklahoma State, also a 3:30 kick. The LSU Tigers travel to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators today at 3:30. And some ACC action. The number 4 team in the nation, Clemson, travels to the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. That's also a 3:30 kick. And some Mountain West action, or some Pac-10 action. Arizona State is at Colorado. That's a 4 o'clock start. And, of course, another 4 o'clock start of note to many of our local fans. The number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes travel to Bloomington, where they will face the Indiana Hoosiers. The Southern Methodist Mustangs travel to UCF. That'll be today at 7 o'clock. One of the surprises of the SEC, number 13 Kentucky travels down to Texas A&M. That's a 7 o'clock start. Another 7:30 start, the Washington Huskies face the UCLA in a Pac-12 matchup. Auburn and Mississippi State, also a 7:30 matchup. Vanderbilt travels to number 2 Georgia. Wisconsin and Nebraska go at it in a Big Ten matchup this evening. Top 25 matchup, number 6 Notre Dame travels to Virginia Tech. Utah takes on number 14 Stanford. Colorado State travels to San Jose State. Fresno State travels to Nevada. And the last game we have a record of, Wyoming travels to Hawaii to face the Rainbow Warriors, and that kick will actually happen at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time. All right, so just some first half stats here. Again, Urbana had 5 first downs to Urbana-Wise's 3. Urbana trailed in passing yards, Virginia-Wise 34, Urbana 22. Rushing yards, Virginia-Wise 4 carries for 12 yards. Urbana 12 carries for 69 yards. Wise was 6 for 7 through the air. And Urbana was 2 for 5 with an interception. Virginia-Wise ran a total of 11 offensive plays for 46 yards. Urbana had 17 snaps and managed 91 yards, so a very defense-heavy first half, as we saw. As far as the turnovers, we saw that, again, Urbana lost 1 fumble, and I guess that was actually ruled an interception return there. So 1 interception for 38 yards. Third down conversions, Urbana-Wise was 1 for 2 for 50%. Urbana was also 50%, 2 for 4. Urbana was also 0 for 1 on 4th down. And red zone score chances, zeros all around, because again, like we talked about with the defensive matchup today, neither team has visited the red zone yet today. As far as your offensive leaders, rushing leader for the Cavaliers is Victor Mitchell. He's had 2 carries for 13 yards, and again, that 13-yard total makes him their leading rusher. Von Purvis with 2 yards. Leading rusher for the Blue Knights is Isaiah Young. He's had 8 carries for 48 yards. Zarin Davis has carried it twice for 21 yards. And David Hickey has had 2 carries but netted 0 yards. Again, passing, Tanner Bernard for the Cavaliers is 6 for 7 for 34 yards. He was sacked 1 time. Zarin Davis was 2 for 5 with 1 interception. 22 total yards, and he has not been sacked. Leading receiver for the Cavaliers is Matt Felton. He's had 2 grabs for 28 yards. DeVerger has also had 2 catches, but manages 7 yards. Receiving leaders for Urbana, both Raphael Floyd and David Hickey each have 1 reception. And that is pretty much it for the offensive stats for the first half. So again, like we mentioned, very defensive heavy first half. So we get ready to bring you the second half action here as Urbana-Wise is set to receive, and the Blue Knights are all set to kick off. So some frivolity in the booth here as one of our student assistants here at Urbana was crowned homecoming king at halftime. So a lot of excitement here in the booth.
Eric Ware will kick off for the Blue Knights.
All right, so Eric Ware now set to kick off here for the second half kickoff, and
Hamilton back deep.
Virginia-Wise has Marquise Hamilton deep, and he's going to field the kick about the 10-yard line and finds an edge there, and well, he's going to bring it up almost all the way to the 40-yard line. He's finally drugged down, but not before he gets to the 39-yard line, and that's where the Cavaliers are going to start the second half here, 1st and 10. So again, they come out at halftime with a 7-0 lead, and then they come right out of the gates with a nice return and good starting field position from their own 38-yard line. And again, you know, we know that Tanner Bernard, the freshman quarterback, has to have gained some confidence there in that first half. And he's going to look to continue that here in the second half. So jet motion from the top of the formation. And the give is to the running back, and that is
Mitchell, the ball carrier.
That is Mitchell on the carry. And he gets up to just past the line of scrimmage, up to the 40-yard line. So that's going to make it 2nd and a long 7 now. We'll call it 2nd and 8 as the Cavaliers return to the line of scrimmage. So, got positive yardage on first down, but just below what they need to stay on schedule here. 2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom for Wise, H-back in the backfield along with Mitchell and Bernard, the quarterback. There's the snap. Bernard drops back, looks, fires, hits a man in the flat. It's complete.
Pass is complete.
Looks to be the tight end, number 83, Seth Phillips. And Phillips up to just about the 45-yard line. That's going to leave Urbana-Wise with a very manageable third and about 3.5 yards to go.
For the Cavaliers.
I guess it's not going to keep it, which I'm surprised about.
All right, so again, the Cavaliers looking to convert a first down here to start the second half. And they come out here. And there's the snap. Quarterback under pressure. Oh, and Bernard looks to make a move. He's not going to be able to get away, though. He's finally drugged down by, looked like Onaje Davenport. They were able to drag him down. And
2-yard line. It'll be fourth down for the Cavaliers.
It's going to make it fourth down here for the Cavaliers. So nice stand
for the Cavaliers.
By the Blue Knights here to start the second half.
Craig Burt back deep for the Blue Knights.
Again, Burt back deep. The kick is away. Burt signals fair catch, and he hauls it in at about the 21-yard line. And that's where the Blue Knights will take over, first and 10.
36 yards on the punt. Are we ready for the UU Beach Ball Bash?
All right, so again,
do I hear the Beach Boys? I get around.
Urbana bends but doesn't break here to start the second half.
UU Beach Ball Bash. It's that time again to play UU's Beach Ball Bash.
And that's where they'll take over here, first and 10.
Hit the beach balls around until the music stops.
From their own 22-yard line.
Stops, grab a ball near you to see if your ball has a winning number. If your number is called, you're the winner. Let's see you get those beach balls moving.
And again, like we talked about, a lot of defense there in the first half, and that just continues with Urbana getting a quick 3 and out here to start the second half. And again, seeing now if they can get Zarin Davis and their offense rolling here as we start the second half. Again, they find themselves trailing 7-0 here at homecoming on the Urbana University campus.
Only one lucky winner today. The winning number is 6. Get those beach balls back to the cheerleaders. The winning beach ball can see Logan Haynes to get your free sub from Subway, which is located on side of the street behind Pizza Hut.
All right, so
will receive a free 6-inch.
Urbana comes out with three wide receivers to the bottom of the formation. Tight end alone to the top of the formation. Young the backfield. Davis gets the snap, hands to Young. Young starts inside, bounces it out around the left end.
Isaiah Young, the ball
He's going to get a nice gain, going to get up just about to the 30-yard line. That's going to be good for a gain of about 7 now.
Pickup of 8 yards on the play. Groven on the tackle for the Cavaliers. It'll be 2nd and 2.
2nd and 2 coming up now. And just some... All right, so we got a quick little gain up the middle. Look to be
Hale, the ball carrier.
Look to be Hale in at quarterback now, and he's on the gain there.
The result of the play is a first down for the Blue Knights.
First down for the Blue Knights.
First down.
So let's see if C.J. Hale remains in at quarterback, and
looks like a direct snap to David Hickey on this play.
Check that. That was David Hickey. Lined up now, David Hickey playing in kind of a wildcat formation, and Hickey gets the snap, goes around right in.
Hickey, the ball carrier, comes close to another.
Hickey with a nice gain, going to be a gain of about 9, really close to another first down for the Blue Knights.
Cole on the tackle for the Cavaliers. The result of that play is another Blue Knight first down.
All right, that's actually going to be ruled a first down. So another first down for the Blue Knights here to start the second half, and they're on a roll. See if they can keep that going all the way up to the 43-yard line. And again,
first down, Blue Knights
Hickey remains in the game.
43-yard line. Hale at quarterback for
Hale now in at quarterback. Oh, bad snap. Hale can't field it. He gets behind him. He's going to be hit and brought down all the way back at his own 30-yard line. So Blue Knights going the wrong direction on that one. Going to back them way up now.
Hicks on the play for the Cavaliers.
I'll make it second and Toledo.
Loss of about
Long way out there.
13 yards on the play.
Loss of 13. Going to bring up second and 23.
30-yard line.
Three receivers to the top of the formation, tight end, and no receiver to the bottom of the formation. Hale and Hickey in the backfield. There's a snap. Hale's able to field it. Again, a little wide. Hale rolls to his right, throws into double coverage, and very close to being intercepted. Hale lucky that was not intercepted. There is a penalty flag on the play, however. We'll check and see what that is. And
Defense number 50, face mask.
personal foul face mask against number 50 of Virginia-Wise. So that's going to bail the Blue Knights out here with a big first down on third and what seemed like forever is now going to be 1st and 10 after a fortunate face mask penalty. So Young now enters the game at running back. They bring a receiver out. We're now going to have both Hickey and Young in the backfield, probably on both sides of C.J. Hale here as they line up.
581-978. Come to the press box to collect your winnings. First down, Blue Knights, ball at their own 45.
Gleek Muhammad in the slot. Jesse Bray, the receiver. The give is to Young. Young cuts it up. Tries to find a hole. Gets about a yard. That'll be about it. It's not going to be 2nd and 9 for the Blue Knights. Just at about the 46-yard line.
Gain of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the 46.
Three receivers to the bottom of the formation now. As Hickey comes out and Young remains in the backfield. Hale moves him to his right. No, I'm sorry. He's in the Wildcat again. That's Hickey at quarterback. Hickey gets the direct snap and carries it up for about a gain of 3. Going to make it 3rd and now a long 6 for the Blue Knights. All right, so Young is going to come out, and Bailey Whalen enters the game now, the 5'9" freshman running back out of Brookville, Ohio.
581-978.
And now Hickey is coming out. So let's see who's going to be lined up at quarterback this time, and it is going to be C.J. Hale back in the game. And C.J. Hale, another freshman quarterback, a true freshman. C.J. gets the snap, wings it out to the left side. It's complete to Whalen, but Whalen drug out of bounds quickly by number 2.
Hamilton on the tackle for the
Hamilton, and again, Whalen just slung out of bounds there.
It'll be 4th down and 8 for the Blue Knights. Brandon Perk will be in punt formation.
All right, so that's going to make it now 4th and 9, and we're going to have a punt here for the Blue Knights. Perk gets the snap, steps, kicks, high kick. Going to be fair caught at about the 12-yard line.
40-yard punt by Perk.
Fair caught by number 35, Jason Lewis, for the Cavaliers, and that's where they'll take over 1st and 10.
50-50. $206. Latasha Watson, congratulations. Remember, you can't win if you don't play. The
50-50 winner here just announced. Nice $206 winner. Wonder if she'll go and buy 103 Powerball tickets for tonight with that. She's lucky, apparently. So, all right, 1st and 10 at the, we'll call it the 13.5-yard line now for the Cavaliers as they come out. And again, quick moving clock here so far today. We've got 7:54 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And again, both teams have had the ball, but we've had no score here in the 2nd half. And again, been a defensive struggle for most of today's game.
And jeopardizes the welfare of student athletes and the intercollegiate athletic community. For more information, go
all right, just a reminder too, folks, if you're joining us by video, you're watching us on campusnation.com, on the website, the YouTube channel, or you're watching us through the Urbana Sports Network, or today we're also joined by our friends and guests from the University of Virginia-Wise and their affiliates down there. And again, we'd like to welcome you all to our broadcast. And again, you have any comments or suggestions, we'd love to hear them. Just submit them through the Campus Nation website, and please be kind. All right, so 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line here for the Cavaliers. Again, 7:54 to go here. And we are also on WZAA, Jeffersonville, Ohio, 106.9. We need to get that in for legal purposes. So 2 receivers to the top and the bottom of the formation. There's a snap, and the give is to the running back. And I believe that is Cousin.
Hall makes the tackle.
And Ray Hall brings him down after a gain of about almost 5 yards. And that's going to make it second and about 6 now for the Cavaliers, and a nice way to start the drive for the Cavaliers as they come out and pick up a good 4-yard gain there on the ground. So Bernard looks over now, gets his formation and his call. Again, 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Bernard calls for the ball. There's the snap. He drops. He looks. Swings it out to the right side to number 10. That's Chris Thaxton. Thaxton with a catch. And
to Chris Thaxton.
Thaxton's going to be very close to a first down. Let's see what they do here. Well, now they mark it a little short. It's going to be 3rd and about 1, maybe 1.5, as we
It'll be 3rd down
again continue along here in the 3rd quarter here at Urbana.
22-yard line.
That's some personnel changes. They bring in another lineman. We've got an unbalanced line here. Three offensive linemen to the right side. There's the snap, the handoff, and just nothing there. Swarmed in the backfield by the Blue Knight defense. That's going to be a loss of about 3. Purvis with just nowhere to run after all the penetration by the Blue Knight defense. And like we talked about, the Blue Knights, one of the best teams in the country in Division II in tackles for losses, averaging just over 10 per game, and that continues here today. As again, another nice big play by the D line and the front 7 of the Urbana Blue Knights. So
back deep for the Blue Knights.
That's going to bring in another punting situation where Trevor Owens will step onto the field, and Bird again deep for the Blue Knights. Again, Bird, a freshman wide receiver out of Huber Heights, the Dayton area. There's the kick, drives Burt back. He's going to watch it bounce and roll, and boy, it takes a tremendous roll for the Cavaliers. Let's see if they can down it, and oh, they can't. And I'll tell you, had a chance to down it right at about the 1-yard line, but just momentum carried it in. And boy, 81-yard punt, going to end up about 61 after the net, but boy, a beautiful kick and a beautiful roll, and again, Virginia-Wise just not able to stop their momentum, and they carried into the end zone. So a real break there for the Blue Knights as they're going to get the ball out at the 25 when, for all intents and purposes, that should have been inside the 5. So again, a big break here for the Blue Knights as they take over now with 5:48 left here in the 3rd quarter. All right, Hale's going to remain at quarterback.
The Blue Knights have a first down. Ball at their own 20-yard line. Hale at quarterback for Urbana.
2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Young now to Hale's left. There's a snap. Hale looks under pressure now. He scrambles, throws. Ball's in the air. It's going to look like it's going to be intercepted, and it is.
The pass is underthrown and intercepted.
Again, a ball that probably shouldn't have been thrown. Hamilton, had good position there on the receiver, and the ball was underthrown, and again, an easy pick there for the Cavaliers as they take over at the 49-yard line of Urbana here, 1st and 10. So again, just as soon as we talk about fortune for Urbana getting the ball there in decent field position, not inside the 5-yard line, they throw up an interception and give the ball right back to Virginia-Wise. So
first down, Virginia-Wise in Blue Knight territory.
It's now going to be first down, Cavaliers inside of the Urbana territory from the Urbana 49-yard line. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. There's the snap. Drops back, steps up now, fires to the left side. Sliding catch complete. Looks like that's number 14. Again, that's the big receiver, diverter for the Cavaliers. And again, he is a nice big-bodied receiver out there. Nice target for Bernard to find. Going to make it 2nd and 2 now. Diverger had to come back from the sticks to get the catch. Just short. 2 receivers each side of the formation. There's the snap, the give. Up the middle, nice run, nice hold there, good blocking. And that's going to be another easy first down for Wise, as Mitchell carries it all the way down to about the 30-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 33. Very quick to the ball for the Cavaliers. The give to Mitchell again. He hits the same hole, now bounces it outside. Blue Knights play it better this time, though, as L.A. Kelly's able to drag him down for a very short game. We'll call it a gain of about 1, maybe 1.5 yards. So going to make it 2nd and a long 8 now for the Cavaliers. Cavaliers with 3 receivers to the top of the formation. 1 receiver to the bottom. Mitchell in the backfield with Bernard. And the snap, and we've got some movement. Let's see who they call it against. A lot of Urbana guys moving, but that's because they were drawn off sides by Virginia Wise and number 65. So again, that is going to be a break for the Blue Knights as the ball's backed up to about the 36-yard line, or it's now going to be 2nd and 13 for the Cavaliers. Cavaliers 2 receivers to the top of the formation, H-back and 1 receiver to the bottom of the formation. There's the snap. Bernard looks, throws, little screen to the left side, the right side, excuse me. Caught by number 10.
Pass is complete.
That is Chris Thaxton, and Thaxton makes a nice spin to the inside where DeRay Hall just really pacing right there. Brings him down to right at the 32-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and about 9 now for the Cavaliers. So again, this 3rd quarter continues to evaporate right before our eyes. We're down to less than 3.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Virginia Wise has just been controlling this quarter with their ground game so far. 2 receivers each side again. Blue Knights are coming. They're coming. They don't get there. He's able to dump it off. Bernard is to number 7.
To Eli Marks.
That is Eli Marks.
Hall on the tackle.
DeRay Hall is able to drag him down, but not before he picks up about 8 yards and gets it down to.
It'll be 4th down and 2 for the Cavaliers. Ball to Blue Knight 25.
Gets it down to the 25-yard line. That's going to make it 4th and 2, and Virginia Wise is going to trot the kicking unit onto the field. So
will attempt
we're going to have a 42-yard field goal here. Let's see if they're able to convert. There's the snap. The kick is up, and it's long enough. Let's see where it ends. And no, it's wide right.
No good.
So no good. So the Blue Knights dodge a bullet there. So again, Virginia Wise has had 2 field goal attempts today. Both of them go for naught, and they remain in the lead. But the lead remains just 7 with 2:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Your score: Virginia Wise Cavaliers 7, Urbana Blue Knights 0.
The Blue Knights take over with a 1st down at the Virginia
So again,
25-yard line.
Blue Knights will take over 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
C.J. Hale still at the controls.
C.J. Hale remains the quarterback for the Blue Knights and taking over for Zarin Davis at halftime. 2 receivers each side of the formation. Now we have some motion, and the give is going to be to, let's see who that is. That's Khalik Muhammad. But Virginia Wise just swarms him, and there's just no room for Khalik to go. And the ball knocked out there, but I believe he fell on it, and he did. So, again, another dangerous situation avoided there by the Blue Knights. But let's see what the penalty is. And I believe the initial indication was against the Blue Knights. Let's wait and see why they mark this off. Again, trying to find just different ways to get Khalik Muhammad with the football in his hands, and
There's no foul for
that's a good thing. So,
as the player turns, the foul was determined to be from the side.
okay, so the call was blocking the back, but after discussion, they determined that because the player had moved, the block was not illegal, just a continuation of a legal
After the
block.
fumble, there was
So
a loss on the play of 2 yards.
that's a good thing for the Blue Knights. They catch a break
Back
there,
to
so
the
it's going to remain first and
23-yard line.
first and
It'll
12
be
now.
Second down and 12.
Second and 12, excuse me, after the penalty, after the no penalty. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom of the formation. There's the snap. Hale, no, it's I believe that's Isaiah Young.
Tripped up after a short game.
Isaiah Young tripped up. He's going to get back past the original line of scrimmage, but not by much. It's going to make it second and about. We'll call it third and 9 3/4 here
It'll be
for the
third
Blue
down and
Knights.
10 for the Blue Knights. Ball at their own 25-yard line.
All right, so 2 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Again, Hale the quarterback. Now he moves Young to his right. Hale drops back, looks, throws. Down the right side, he's got a man, but overthrows his receiver. Intended for 12 Shamar Hooks, but again, falls harmlessly incomplete. That's going to make it 4th down. Urbana's going to be forced to kick here. All right, so 4th and 10 now. Perk comes in, and again,
Jason Lewis back deep.
Lewis
For the Cavaliers.
back deep for the Cavaliers. There's the snap. Perk steps, kicks. Decent kick. Lewis signals the fair catch. He makes it at the 35-yard line. And that's where the Cavaliers will take over 1st and 10. Urbana desperately needs a big play on defense here. All right, so the Cavaliers come out. They're going to have 2 receivers each side of the formation. Lone running back with Bernard. There's the snap, the fake, fires it down the left side, little screen, and picks up a block out there. And again, the receiver able to fall forward. Looks like that was Gilliams, and he gets it up for about 9 yards, very close to a 1st down.
Gain of almost 9 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and a long 1.
It's going to make it 2nd and a long 1 now for the Blue Knights. Excuse me, for the Cavaliers. All right, so again, 4 receivers, 2 to each side. There's a handoff. Uh-oh, good for a 1st down and a couple more. Well, let's check who that was. Looked to be
the ball carrier.
number 35, and that's Jason Lewis. And Lewis with a nice little gain there.
Ball to Blue Knight 49-yard line.
And good again for a 1st down. He's going to get it just across midfield now. So tick, tick, tick. Time expires, and that'll do it. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. So again, with 1 quarter to go, the Urbana Blue Knights are trailing here at homecoming weekend as Virginia-Wise leads 7-0. And again, just a reminder here as we take a quick break, as we switch to the 4th quarter coverage, you're joining us on campusnation.com, either on the website or the YouTube channel. You could also be joining us on the Urbana Sports Network or through the Virginia-Wise sports affiliates. And
our YouTube channel is blowing up today with the fans.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's good or bad, but blowing up, I guess, is a good thing. And again, our radio listening audience is listening to us, our devoted listeners in Jeffersonville, Ohio, in 106.9 WZAA, the voice of Jeffersonville. And yes, that's the voice of both of them, both the people up there in Jeffersonville.
Actually, I think the village of Jeffersonville is about 1,800 people.
Of course, I jest. Jeffersonville's Beautiful, beautiful small town, and beautiful Central Ohio, South Central Ohio, and again, the home base of our operations. So again, 15 minutes to go here at homecoming at Urbana University Stadium, and
Yeah, this
again, the
last
Blue Knights
quarter.
find themselves down 7-0, and Rick, this is a situation we have not seen them in our visits to Urbana this year.
We have not seen them, first of all, down like with this time remaining in the game.
Yeah, not this long either.
And not
I mean, they've-
skunked completely.
Yeah,
no
that's right.
score whatsoever.
That's right. And again, Virginia-Wise on the move now. 4 receivers set. There's a snap and the give. And the Blue Knight D-line, again, does what they do best. They plug up those holes. And
Lewis takes the first half.
Lewis gets
down
about a
carry.
yard, but that's going to be it. Going to make it now 2nd and 9 now for the
Where
Cavaliers.
it'll be 2nd down and 8. Raffle winners, Mark, Jimmy, Arlene, Wendy, and Rudy.
Boy, they're
Come to
just
the table
they're just
behind
giving
the
all
end zone.
kinds of
These
stuff
are all
away
raffle
today.
winners.
Yeah, they are. Again,
Did you get
North
anything?
end zone. Mark, Jimmy,
no.
T-shirt?
Arlene, Wendy, and Rudy.
no,
come
I
to
have
the
not.
table.
But I'll tell you, I've been blessed with a great experience here at Urbana today.
That's for sure.
All right, so long throw down the right
Oh,
sideline,
nice.
and he had a
Bernard
step, and
Cass.
again, that is the big
Intended
receiver,
for-
Kyan Duverger, that we talked about, and
Dudeberger is incomplete.
again, a intimidating-looking receiver out there, but
It'll be
overthrown
3rd
right
down
there.
and 8 for the Cavaliers ball.
But he had a
at the Blue
step,
Knight
so
48-yard
again,
line.
the Blue Knights cannot allow him to get behind them, that's for sure. So again, that's going to make it now 3rd and 9. And the Blue Knights desperately in need of a stop here, and again, definitely do not want to let the Cavaliers continue this drive.
No, we can't afford any other points. That's for sure.
Bernard's pass is incomplete.
Little tip drill over there on the right sideline,
Broken up by
and
Sherman Watson.
Sherman Watson breaks it up. That's going to make it
It'll
now
be
4th
and 8
down,
for the
and
Cavaliers.
looks
That's-
like the
that's
Blue
what we
Knights
wanted.
have held. That's right.
Yeah, that's what we wanted.
All right, so
Trevor Owens will be in punt formation.
Owens comes
for
in to punt
Virginia-Wise.
again for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. Craig Bird again back deep to
Craig Burke
return punts.
back deep for the Blue Knights.
There's the snap, step, kick. Burt signals the fair catch, going to let the ball hit, takes an Urbana bounce.
Wise downs
And
the punt at the
Wise is able to
20-yard
down the
line.
punt right there at about the 19.5 yard line, the 20.
Media timeout.
That's where the Blue Knights will take over, 1st and 10. Again, 13:59 left here in the 4th quarter, and again, the struggles have continued for the Urbana Blue Knights offense today, as Zarin Davis just wasn't able to quite get things going in the first half, and so he had to switch off. And they went to C.J. Hale in the second quarter, or the second half, excuse me. And
Chuck, we are blessed to have the king of homecoming in our booth. In fact, he actually does the broadcast with us every time we're here at home.
yes, he does.
You want
That's
to
right.
introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Brendan Gray. I just won the homecoming king here at Urbana University, and I just want to
Remember,
thank
after
all my
today's
voters
game,
for
Hall of
voting
Fame
for me for
induction
the
ceremony
homecoming
for Chris
king.
Willis
I really appreciate
will
that.
be
So how much
held
did you
in
figure it
the
cost you per vote?
Student Center. So after the game, just make
I'm
your
not
way
sure,
over there to the
actually.
Student Center.
Well, he does a bang-up job here in the booth with us.
Yes, he does.
So
That's right.
we are just happy that he's king of the booth every time we're at home here at Urbana University.
That's right.
Well,
And,
thank you guys. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
and we appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, so again, 1st and 10 now for the Blue Knights. Thank you. All right, 13:59 to go here. And they come out, and it looks to be C.J. Hale again. He has gone the second half here after taking over for Zarin Davis at halftime.
First down for the Blue
3
Knights,
receivers to the
20-yard
bottom,
line.
1 to the top. There's the snap, the fake to Young. Hale looks, he throws down the left sideline. And put up in the air, intended for number 6. Again, that's Jesse Bray, but it falls harmlessly incomplete. So
To respect
that's going to make it now 2nd and 10.
toward our opponents and our own players. Let's support
All right, so
athletes.
2nd and 10
No
again here.
negativity out there, or you might be removed from the stadium. Let's keep it positive, people.
Did they say they were
All
going
right.
to kick you out of the stadium there?
Rick, I think they were talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Again,
All right.
reminding us that Need to keep it positive here, Rick.
That's
so,
right. I'm positive they're probably going to kick you out.
I'm positive I'm on the way. That's right. So there's a snap. Hale under pressure steps up and gets back just past the line of scrimmage. Going to make it now 3rd and 9. And again, Urbana just continues to struggle offensively. Just can't quite seem to get things going here. It's going to bring it 3rd and 9 now for the Blue Knights, again, from their own 21-yard line. Okay, so Hale giving some signals here. He's got 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Again, Isaiah Young in the backfield, lined up next to C.J. Hale. Again, C.J., a true freshman, getting his first start here today. First action we've seen him. Hale drops back, steps up in the pocket now. Looks like he's going to tuck it and run, and he is. Hale's going to get up past the 30-yard line. That's going to be good for a first down. So, again, Hale not able to get things done through the air. He gets it done with his feet right there.
Now, Chuck, is he related to you in any way, shape, or form?
No, he's not. He spells his name. Well, he might be, but he spells his name differently. So if we're related, it's pretty far back.
The other side of the family?
That's right. The good side.
The good side.
So 4 receivers set for Hale. Hale heads off to Young. Young starts right, but cuts it back left. And all that before he even gets the line of scrimmage. Falls forward, gains about, we'll call it a 2-yard gain now for Isaiah Young. Going to bring up 2nd and 8 now for the Blue Knights. Again, Blue Knights up out past their 30-yard line, encroaching now on the 35-yard line. And again, the Blue Knights haven't crossed midfield too many times today. Let's see if they can do that. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 alone to the top. Young to the right of Hale. Hale rides the fake, gives to Young. Young around left end, and well, Young finally forced out of bounds, but not before he's able to pick up a first down up at about the 41, 42-yard line. So, again, the Blue Knights keep the drive alive and continue to creep ever closer to midfield here as we close in on 12 minutes to go here at homecoming at Urbana Stadium.
He's just short of the first down.
And it looks like they're going to rule him just short, so it's going to make it 3rd and
inches.
It'll be 3rd down.
3rd and inches, that's right. So I was trying to think of something clever, but
microns.
Couldn't get to it, yeah.
Parsecs.
There you go. And looks like we may have a, no, and now they're going to rule first down.
First down. They got my micrometer out.
That's right. I thought a parsec was a
it is.
Time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's time to give us a first down.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Reminds me of the Millennium Falcon doing the Kessel run in 12 parsecs there, Rick. So there's a snap. Hale, under pressure. Hale continues to roll to his right. Oh, and he slides down and just couldn't get away there. And I'll tell you, big number 98, Romello Leftwich, on the pressure there, and Romello just chased him down there and just able to get a hand on him, and Hale just couldn't keep his balance. So it's going to go down as a sack any way you cut it.
That was a loss of 6, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about a 6-yard loss. That's going to make it 2nd and 16 now from the 35-yard line.
35-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 16.
2 receivers each side of the formation now. Hickey into the ball game running. Oh, and the snap goes right by Hale. Hale tries to fall on it. He's not able to, but luckily Hickey back there with him. Hickey's able to fall on it, but not before the ball gets all the way back to the 15-yard line. Wow, and it's going to be, looks like it's going to be 3rd and Springfield coming up here. Maybe further than that. I don't know.
I would say probably.
What's the next town south from there? 3rd and Yellow Springs?
Yep. I think that would be good.
Geez, third and 36 yards. You don't see it very often.
3rd and 36.
Yeah. All right, so not too many plays in the playbook for 3rd and 36, but let's see what the Blue Knights dial up. They have 4 wide, 2 on each side of the formation. Hickey, the running back. Hale gets the snap, looks, flings it out to Hickey on the right side, but Hickey hit almost immediately and just nowhere to go. So it'll go down as a completion in the game, but not much. And that's going to leave them with 4th and a heck of a way to go. And the punting unit's going to have to come out on the field.
I think we're right about Young's Jersey Dairy there.
So not quite into Yellow Springs proper.
That's right, that's right.
All right, maybe the Springfield Armory base there. Yeah. Springfield Air Park, whatever you want to call it.
The Air Park now, I think.
All right, so again, Perk into kick now for the Blue Knights. Perk steps, kicks, Gets it in the air. Well, drives
Nice
Wise all the
catch.
way back to about the
Nice
30-yard line. And, ooh!
Lewin returns the punt to the 32.
I'll tell you, he gets hit hard there by DeRay Hall on the coverage. Nice job by DeRay Hall.
For the Blue Knights.
Media timeout.
And imagine this, no yellow laundry on the field.
Yeah, there's got to be a problem right there.
Uh-huh.
Can't be no laundry on the field.
This year's Homecoming 2018 United is proudly sponsored by Taylor Maintenance. Special thanks to Donald Fife for his dedicated service to caring for the lawn.
So still basically a struggle of two defenses.
This year's Homecoming sponsor.
Yeah, it really has been. I'll tell you. I think if
The only points scored as a result of a turnover.
turnover, that's right. Yeah, I think if you asked anybody coming into this game,
So does that
what
make
the
it
score
unearned?
would be.
Is that unearned? That's baseball.
I don't know how to score that, Rick. I have to call Bill James on that one, I guess.
Right.
All right, so again, 9:05 to go here in the fourth quarter, and again, Urbana finds themselves on the wrong end of a 7-0 score here on homecoming weekend, and you know that. Again, Urbana really wants to pick up this win here for obvious reasons, but
Well, it keeps them in the race
that's
for the
right.
championship.
Yeah, they've had
that's probably the biggest thing there.
Yeah, that's right. Again, they want to push their record to 5-1 and 4-1 in the league, and again, a loss here to Virginia-Wise would certainly be a setback. Again, the Cavaliers, on the other hand, they've had their struggles this season, but
This would be a feather in their cap,
it sure would be,
especially
yeah.
at homecoming.
That's right. And, like we talked about, you don't know how much of it's psychological, but Virginia-Wise has had the better of this series, and, again, including the last couple in a row. So, let's see what happens here in the last final 9 minutes of this football game. And the Blue Knights in desperate need of a turnover here. Some kind of momentum shift here. 4 wide receivers for the Cavaliers. There's a snap and the give. And again, I have a feeling we may see a heavy dose of the Cavaliers on the ground and Victor Mitchell as we continue the rest of this game, because again, the clock is really in favor of Virginia-Wise here if they can just continue to melt it away. And again, Urbana hasn't shown themselves to be much of a threat offensively today. So, again, Wise continues to keep the ball on the ground and keep that clock ticking away. So 4 wide receiver formation again, 2 to each side of the formation. Again, Bernard with 1 back in the backfield. I believe that's Mitchell lined up next to him. There's the snap and the fake to Mitchell. Throws to the left flat, complete. Oh, nice move there by number 20. Oh, breaks another tackle. Finally forced out of bounds, but not before he gets down to about the 35-yard line. And let's see who that was. That was number 20. That was Rob Jones, I believe, on the reception. And again, nice play there by that young man.
Made the stop for the Blue Knights.
And there's going to be a penalty,
Offside.
but it's going to be offsides against Urbana. And, of course, that's going to be declined. So Cavaliers will keep the results of the play, going to get them all the way down to the Blue Knight 36-yard line. And so, again, the Cavaliers getting dangerously close to getting into field goal range and making this a 2-point game. Of course, we have seen them struggle with their kicking game today. They are 0 for 2 on field goals.
I don't think that I would, worry about attempting another one after 2 being errant.
We'll see how close they get, though, Rick. That will put them up 2 scores. So, little fumble on the snap, but it seems to work to their advantage as it throws the timing off just enough to let Mitchell squirt through. And again, gets it all the way down inside the 20-yard line, all the way down to about the 13. And so, again, the Cavaliers are now in chip shot range. So if they do have to attempt a field goal, it'll be a much simpler attempt than they've had. So another 4 receivers set the fake and the throw again to the left flat to number 20. That's going to be a touchdown for the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
So again, I'll tell you, pretty much the same play we saw before. Bernard hits Jones in the left flat, and Jones makes a move, and next thing you know, he's in the end zone. So that pushes it now. Our score is Virginia-Wise 13, Urbana 0. But again, the PAT coming up here. So again, the Blue Knights getting into that time where they're running out of time and opportunities here. Big Trevor Owens in to attempt the PAT. There's a snap. Owens, the kick is up. He bangs it through.
The kick is good.
So with 7:31 to go in the game, your score, Virginia-Wise 14, Urbana 0.
7:31 remaining in the fourth quarter.
And again, I just, as an observation, I have to tell you, the Urbana sideline is, looks like they're definitely on the wrong side of this one right now. Virginia-Wise has all the momentum. Urbana needs a big play here. Someone's going to have to step up, or Virginia-Wise is going to walk home with this one.
Now would be a good time to get one of these run backs.
Yes, it would. I'll tell you.
Special teams right here.
A big Khalik Muhammad return here would be huge for the Blue Knights. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen because Muhammad's not in the game. But deep for the Blue Knights is
Blair will be back deep for the Blue Knights.
Bailey Wallen and Calvin Blair. So
secret weapons.
Both of them definitely capable of making something happen here on the return. So Trevor Owens sets the ball. Cavaliers break the huddle. Owen takes the steps, marks it off. Gives a signal. We're whistled ready for play. Owens approaches the ball. There's the kick. It's up. Wallen catches it in the end zone. He's going to down it right there. So again, with the new rules, going to come out to the 25-yard line, and not a bad decision.
No, that was a good decision. Although, what are they saying? Right there is where he's got to.
Well, it was dangerously close because I believe he did have 1 foot on the line, but
so fair catch signal. They're saying.
But any fair catch inside the 10, I believe, should go out to the 25. Doesn't matter that he wasn't all the way in the end zone.
Well, they keep putting it down on the goal line.
Yeah, I don't think that's correct. Huh?
Apparently, they're going to spot the ball at the 1-inch line.
Yep. And I'm wrong. Yeah. Well, Rick, you better write that down. I was wrong. That doesn't happen very often. Certainly not more than once or twice a minute.
So, tough territory for the Blue Knights.
Really tough sledding now for the Blue Knights as they're going to be forced to try to punch this out of their own end zone. So, again, you can't. I don't think the ball could be any more out of the end zone than it is right now. So, Hale gets a snap. The give is to Young, and Young's able to bring it forward for about 3 yards, brings it up to the 3-yard line. So, it's going to be second and about 7 from right there, but. Again, improved, but not by a lot. So Blue Knights go to the line.
Harrier with the tackle for the Cavaliers.
Again, Hale still on at quarterback. 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation. H-back and tight end to the top. Young the back. Lined up on Hale's right. There's a snap. The give is to Young. Young takes it around the left end. He's going to lose some yards there. And
very little gain on the play, if any.
Maybe gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
It's pretty close.
I certainly wouldn't give him that. They're going to move it back here, Rick. So it's going to be 3rd and about 8 now. So again, really, really tough sledding here for the Blue Knights.
And a dangerous area because they know that the Blue Knights more than likely will have to pass.
Where it'll be 3rd down.
That area to be passing in.
Well, yeah, it's possible, but again, you might not want to risk that with a freshman quarterback back there.
Little screen or something like that.
Little draw here, and Hale gets it out of the end zone, but gets back maybe to the line of scrimmage, out to the 3-yard line, and that's going to make it 4th and long. And again, with 6 minutes on the clock running, the Blue Knights are going to be forced to punt here. And again, Virginia-Wise in great position right here to just continue to work the clock. They're going to have decent field position here.
Brandon Perkin, punt formation. Jason Lewin back deep for the Cavaliers.
The important thing is that he does not step
back. Yeah, no step back here. Perk steps forward, does get the kick away.
Nice kick.
He's able to drive it out and across midfield. It's fielded at the 45-yard line and makes a nice move. And breaks another tackle.
Lewin returns the punt.
Gets it all the way down to the 20-yard line. And
55-yard punt by
Jason Lewis on the return, and Lewis with a great return gets it all the way up to about, what, the 25-yard line, I believe, but there is a flag on the play.
DeRay Hall finally made the tackle for the Blue Knights.
DeRay Hall does finally bring him down, but again, not before. They're able to make a huge return and put Wise in position to maybe make this a 3-score game with under 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And I'll tell you, given the struggles that the Blue Knights have had today, that may turn out to be an insurmountable difference.
Well, there's no question the Cavaliers' defense has ruled this game.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. So, all right, so the Blue Knights do catch a break there as the penalty is going to be against Virginia-Wise. It's going to get knocked them all the way back to the Blue Knight 35-yard line, but again, still very close to what could be considered field goal range for the Cavaliers. And again, the Blue Knights already down 2 scores. Any other score, like we said, would certainly only increase Virginia-Wise's odds here. So 4 wide receiver set for the Cavaliers. There's the snap. He drops back, looks, fires on the left side. Oh, and it's going to be pass interference there. Again, looking for the big target we talked about all day, Callan DeVerger. And again, I think one of those situations where the cornerback had to decide to give up the penalty or give up the touchdown, and he's going to give up the penalty there. Kind of grabbed DeVerger around the waist, and really a very, very obvious pass interference situation. So it's going to move the ball down. About a 15-yard penalty here in college, but again, going to continue to move the ball down the field for the Cavaliers.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty.
Okay, and the penalty is on number 23. Of course, that is Sherman Watson. And again, Watson, the veteran corner, makes the veteran decision there that doesn't want to give up a touchdown. So, again, that does make a big penalty, though, for the Cavaliers as they come out again with a 4 wide receiver look. And Bernard gets the snap, drops back, looks down the middle this time. Oh, he's got a receiver open. Oh, and I'll tell you, really should have been a touchdown probably. Intended for number 7, Eli Marks. And Marks had a step, was able to get a hand on it, but just wasn't able to reel that one in. So, does fall harmlessly incomplete, but again, 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. The Cavaliers continue to knock on the door here with 5:07 left to play here. Again, 4 wide receiver look, same formation they've had almost every play this series. There's a snap, this time to give. Up the middle, and that is number 27.
Mitchell, the ball carrier.
That is Mitchell again. And Mitchell able to pick up a few, gets it up for about a 3-yard gain, going to make it now 3rd and 7. But again, most importantly, probably than anything, it keeps the clock moving. So it's now going to be 3rd and 7 from about the 18-yard line. And clock continues to tick here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Virginia-Wise in no hurry to snap the football. Urbana shows blitz, they're coming. The pass for the corner of the end zone, intended for DeVerger. And nice coverage that time, falls incomplete.
Broken up in the end zone, incomplete.
Nice play on the ball by the corner there. Again, makes it incomplete. Going to bring up now 4th down.
And 7.
And the Cavaliers are going to attempt another field goal. Trevor Owens trots on the field. And again, Rick, I think this is the right call, even given the struggle that Owens has had earlier in the game.
Well, the 3rd time might be the charm there, Chuck.
Yeah, that's right. And again, going up by 3 scores, I think makes it worth it here.
Absolutely. You're not really giving up a lot if you miss.
Yeah, that's right. There's a snap, the kick. Boy, and he bangs it. Let's see what the call is. And it is good. So, again, 4:16 to go. Virginia-Wise pushes their lead to 17 points as they lead Urbana University 17-0. Again, with 4:16 left in the game here. So, again, time and opportunities running out for the Blue Knights here on Homecoming Saturday as they want to put the capper on what's been a great weekend here on campus. Hate to end it this way.
So let's see. We've had 3 home games that we've done on Thursday night. We've won all 3. What do we think? Maybe we should start having homecoming on Thursday night?
That'd be an interesting way to start homecoming weekend, wouldn't it? Start with the game, yeah.
Start with the game and run it through the weekend, right? Well, the homecoming king says he's in agreement with that.
All right.
So he's decreeing it.
There you go. Yeah, and I'm sure his word carries a lot of weight around campus now.
Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah, they've been bowing down to him everywhere I've seen him walk now. He had a contingent come up and they pledged their allegiance.
He did, yeah.
They pledged their allegiance.
Yeah. Some of the female student body up here.
Yeah.
All right, so again, Virginia-Wise now pushes their lead to 17-0 as they get set to kick off here. 4:16 left in the game, and again, like we said, Urbana running out of time and chances here if they want to secure a homecoming W here in front of this large home crowd on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Champaign County. Kick is up. Going to be caught on the one this time, and he's not going to fair catch this one. There's some popping going on. There's a helmet on the field.
Is there a head in it?
No, there's not a head in it. That's a good thing. So, all right, so Garcia on the return gets it up to about the 23-yard line, I believe. And so that's where the Blue Knights will take over 1st and 10. And
we need some lightning quick scoring.
Yes, we sure do. So Hale returns at quarterback here.
Blue Knights will have a first down, the ball at their own 22 yards.
Hale's going to have 3 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. And the running back, Watson, lined up behind him right now. Or excuse me, Young. Young now goes to the right side. Hale throws down the sideline looking for number 6. And underthrows it and going to be picked off. So, again, intended for Bray, but, again, the DB had the leverage there, and Hale underthrew it, and, really didn't give Bray a chance to make a play on the ball. Bray was totally shut out of that one.
So he turned into defense.
Yeah, really, he couldn't even play defense in the position he was in because the ball was underthrown. So, again, obviously the frustration now starting to come out on the Urbana sideline, and, again, the defense going to try to get the ball back here, but, again, running out of opportunities with just 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, down by 17. So 1st and 10 Cavaliers from their own 40, and don't be surprised if we see a lot of runs right here. Try to melt this clock away. There's a snap, and it is going to be a run over the left side, and I'll tell you, L.A. Kelly just came up and just laid a hit, but Purvis able to get it up for a gain of about almost 4 yards, 3.5 plus, and Urbana's going to take their first time out, try to stop the clock here and preserve what's left of this now 3-minute and 50-second fourth quarter.
Please reset the game clock to 3-5-4.
All right, so just as I say that, they reset the game clock to 3:54 now left to play. And again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a heavy repeat of those rushing plays. And again, just like we talked about, coming up next week for these teams, Urbana hits the road next week. They go up to Lake Erie where they're going to face Notre Dame College. And Virginia-Wise returns home. They're going to have West Virginia Wesleyan coming in. So, again, both these teams with big matchups next week.
Alexis White, Taj Thompson, Taylor Levan.
All right, so that's the end of the timeout. Both teams return to the field. Virginia-Wise again comes out 1 wide receiver to each side of the formation, H-back on the left side of the formation. The give is to number 8 up the middle, and that is Purvis. Purvis with a gain of about 3 more. Urbana with a quick timeout. 3rd and 4 now, but again, the clock does stop with 3:47 to go here in regulation, and again, that just leaves Urbana with 1 timeout and 1 opportunity to stop the clock. So if Virginia-Wise is able to convert this 3rd down and pick up a first down, that'll be about all she wrote. But again, the Blue Knights, again, like we talked about, just had their struggles all day offensively. Have not been able to sustain drives. They've had first downs at times, but
and some turnovers.
And some turnovers, that's right. And again, I think that last one we'd have to say was kind of a desperation thing where Hale was just trying to make a play, but again, made the wrong decision on that throw. Not a really wise throw there. And you're going to have those mistakes out of your true freshman quarterback from time to time, but again, coming in relief of Zarin Davis, who again, Zarin was the backup at the start of the season, and of course we saw Stockett get hurt here a few weeks ago on Thursday night, and Zarin came in and finished that game up and led them to a victory. Led them to a victory last week at Charleston, but just couldn't get things going in the first half here, replaced by C.J. Hale. And again, Hale's faced similar problems that Davis had. So going to get a little bit of movement up front, and I believe that's going to be against Urbana. And if it is, that could be a first down right there. And it is. It's going to be first down by penalty. And guys, that's basically going to be about it. Because I believe the scoreboard doesn't reflect it, but I believe Urbana is out of timeouts. They're not. They have one left. So again, 3:44 to go here. Wise with another first down there. Picked it up on the penalty. There's the whistle. Ball's ready for play. Urbana coming hard. Wise going to throw it on the left sideline. He's got a man.
Oh.
Going to fall incomplete, but I'll tell you, boy, that was close. Intended for K-John Coley. And again, just falls incomplete. Excuse me, that's Alonzo Brown. They've got double threes here on this team. One on defense, one on offense. And we're going to assume that's the Alonzo Brown number 3 there. But it does fall harmlessly incomplete, so 2nd and 10. And I'll tell you, really, Virginia-Wise, that's kind of counterintuitive there. Incomplete passes work against what they need right now.
Stops the clock.
Yeah, that's right. So they get things back on track here. A little run over the left side by Purvis, and Purvis gets up to the Urbana 46-yard line, and there's going to be a timeout there. And okay, so I believe that is Urbana's final timeout. So with 3:36 to go here, third and 7 here for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. And again, this is really the ball game right here, guys. If Virginia-Wise is able to convert this third down, Urbana's out of timeouts and down by 3 scores. Virginia-Wise is just going to run the ball out here, it looks like. Again, already into Urbana territory. They're getting dangerously close to another field goal. And again, that would only further exacerbate the situation. Still be a 3-score game, but could not tie it with a field goal. They would have to have 3 touchdowns. So, again, time and opportunities running out here for the Blue Knights in the 4th quarter here at homecoming weekend as they trail 17-0 with 3:36 to go here in the 4th quarter and no timeouts. Again, Virginia-Wise comes into today with a 1-4 record, and again, their lone win coming in week 3 against Concord. They'd like nothing better than to come up here to Urbana and go home with a win.
Well, they've certainly done everything that they needed to do in order to shut down this Blue Knight offense.
Yeah, that's right. They really have. So Bernard now looks to the sideline. There's the snap. Bernard with the give. Run right into the middle of the line. Going to be a pickup of about half a yard. That's going to be it. Going to bring up 4th and 6 now for the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers. And let's see what they do. I assume they're going to punt this here. And
it'll be 4th down and about 6.
Probably let the clock run for a while here before they do, but the offense looks to be remaining on the field, so they may try to draw them off here or something along those lines. But the play clock continues to tick down and clock running, and wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout here by the Cavaliers. And that's exactly what we get with 2:48 to go in the game. 4th and a long 6 now for the Cavaliers from the Urbana 45-yard line, and they call timeout. And let's see what they do. Again, could possibly bring the punt team in, or they could try to convert this.
Have 2 timeouts remaining. The Blue Knights are out of timeouts.
And again, the timeout situation with Urbana being out, they cannot stop the clock again. And Virginia-Wise does have 2 remaining, up by 3 scores here at Urbana University Stadium, sometimes referred to as UU Stadium by some of the locals here, or sometimes the U. I'm sure there's another university in the southern part of the United States that would argue that distinction, but certainly around here, you talk about the U, everyone knows what you're talking about. All right, so they do bring Owens onto the field. It's going to be another punting situation here. Khalik Muhammad now deep for the Blue Knights, and again, Muhammad, we know, is very dangerous back there. Let's see if Owens kicks it to him or they kick it away from him. And yeah, there's not going to be a chance on this. Muhammad
goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
Tries a little deception there. Fair catches and runs the opposite direction from the ball, but Virginia-Wise not fooled there, so going to be down there at about the 14-yard line, and that's where the Blue Knights will take over, 1st and 10. Again, 2:41 left to play, down by 3 scores. Blue Knights need to get a quick strike here and get back in this ball game. Let's see what they can do. C.J. Hale leads them back out on the field now.
C.J. Hale remains at quarterback for the Blue Knights. 1st down, the ball at their own 14-yard line.
And roll to the left.
C.J. Hale's pass is complete to Isaiah Young.
Young catches it in the flat, but he's tackled in bounds.
On the play, there's a flag on the
It
field.
looks like we have a penalty flag. He actually looked like he lost about a yard or 2. But again, penalty on the play. So we'll check the flag here. And another extended zebra discussion here.
He was rubbing his belly and patting his head. What does that mean?
I think that means now you have to switch arms and do the opposite. And that's tough to do, Rick.
It is.
It's tough to do.
Yeah.
There's no foul for an eligible receiver downfield.
Okay,
No foul.
Caught behind the line of
yeah,
scrimmage.
because the ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage, you can't have an ineligible receiver down the field. That'd be a screen type situation. So
He was eligible.
good call there.
It'll be
Yeah,
second
well, it
down,
wasn't that
about
he
10
was
yards
eligible,
for the Blue
but
Knights. Ball at the 14-yard line.
there's not a place for him to be.
Well, I wasn't
illegal.
eligible.
Rick, you have been eligible for several years.
That's true.
All right, so 2nd and 10 now. Throw next time is to the right side and caught by number 22 for the Blue Knights. And that's Raphael Floyd, but again, tackled in bounds after a very short gain. Going to make it 3rd and 9 with just about 2 minutes left. The clock continues to tick here. And 2:05 and running. 3rd and 9, and they're only out to the 15-yard line. A lot of real estate left to cover for the Blue Knights, and again, Hale doesn't seem to have a lot of sense of desperation here, or some of that may just be that he's a freshman and his first real action, getting a sense of what he's trying to do here. Hale gets the ball, throws down the right sideline. He's got a man. Oh! And I'll tell you, Virginia-Wise almost with another interception there. Intended for Dozier, but Rob Jones of the Cavaliers just about had an interception there. He just tipped it up, and I'll tell you, almost tipped it to Dozier, though. So could have been the break that the Blue Knights needed, but that's going to be 4th down, and I'll tell you, Perk's going to go ahead and punt this away. Given the field position, they really can't risk, I guess, going forward on 4th down, even down by 3 scores. So coach makes the decision to go ahead and punt it away here on 4th down, and he's going to be standing on his goal line here as he kicks it. Cavaliers set up a return here, and they're just going to get away, let it roll. Takes an Urbana bounce, going to roll all the way down to the Wise 31-yard line, and that's where Urbana will down it with 1:30 left to go. So that's where the Cavaliers will take over, 1st and 10 from their 31-yard line, 33-yard line, excuse me. But again, the Blue Knights with no timeouts and no chance to stop the clock here. So again, you may see a couple runs and maybe some kneel downs here, but much as I hate to admit it, fans, this one is essentially over. 1:30 left to go here. And Virginia-Wise is just going to kneel it out here. So, again, barring anything crazy, this should be it here. So, get a couple kneel downs here, and there's the first one. And, a sense of despondency here on the Urbana sideline. Obviously very disappointed they couldn't come away with this homecoming victory, but again, I think just disappointed that they couldn't get the offense together today. And, again, with some experience lacking at quarterback, they just couldn't get it going here. So again, the play clock down inside 10 seconds here. About 50 seconds left on the game clock when this ball gets snapped, so we'll need at least one or two more kneel downs here.
And we'll have a quick wrap-up after the conclusion of the game so that we can get you the stats that you need to know.
Right. All right. And another kneel down here, and officials will take their time marking the ball, and that's going to be it, folks. So as the final clock ticks away here, your score is going to be Virginia-Wise 17, Urbana 0. And again, hang with us. We'll get you some post-game stats here coming up as soon as we get them available. But again, a disappointing loss here for the Blue Knights as they drop one on homecoming to Virginia-Wise 17-0.
I'll be back up there in a sec.
All right, so again, Rick, like we talked about, it was, a story of a totally different Urbana team today than what we've seen in the past. Just not able to get the offense clicking and
not sure
rolling in any direction. And,
whether it was the daytime curse or whether it was because they played in daytime other.
Yeah, that's right.
Stadiums.
Again, their big road win last week at Charleston was an afternoon games, and
and the only other loss was during the day away.
Yeah, so again, just not able to get the offense firing on all cylinders today, and but again, give this Virginia-Wise team a lot of credit. They came out and faced some adversity. Again, starting freshman quarterback for them as well, and again, after a 1-4 start in the season, they hung tough, and again, definitely didn't back down at all from this Urbana team today, and come out on top.
No, they didn't seem the least bit intimidated by anything that they were facing here today, and were in complete command, as the score would indicate, 17-0.
Yeah, that's right. Again, really the probably the most dominating performance we've seen against Urbana
that we've
date.
seen for sure.
Yeah. Again, but again, coming up next week for both these teams, like we talked about, Virginia-Wise gets to go home, and they're going to host West Virginia Wesleyan, a team that we saw here on Campus Nation and the Urbana Sports Network a couple weeks ago as they traveled here to Urbana on a Thursday night and got beaten by these same Blue Knights. The Blue Knights again hit the road next week, and they're going to go up to the Northern Ohio Lake Erie area and take on Notre Dame College. So again, that will be a a big game for them as they look to again continue to push their record. All right, so again, we're just waiting on the final stats here as we wrap up and bring you the finish here today.
They've already got the refreshments out
And just along the network for your information, we've got, as far as future games, this next weekend, a doubleheader once again. We've got two games of the week on a Saturday. We will be at Mount St. Joe, and they will be hosting Franklin. That is
that's a big matchup in the Heartlands
That's
Conference.
right, big matchup for them. And then we'll also be for homecoming at Kentucky State University.
That's right. That game will be broadcast on Flow Sports.
That's
so
right.
If you're a member of Flow Sports or are interested in catching us on that, subscribe.
Get subscribed, right.
Yeah, that's a great Flow. It's got a great thing going there. We're more than happy to partner with them this season and bring you some games in the SIAC. Of course, the SIAC is one of the premier HBCU conferences in America. And, again, some great football action. We were down there at Kentucky State a few weeks ago and saw them get nipped by their arch rival, the Central State Marauders. And, Rick, who is Kentucky State's opponent next week?
I was trying to think.
I'm drawing a blank.
I know, I am too.
But we know it's an SIAC home game.
That's
so,
right. Yeah, it is.
Again,
it's a conference matchup.
Yep, and see if we can't pull that up for you real quick. Given today's technology, that ought to be able to be a quick find.
I think they're still having some issues entering their stats here. So hopefully, before we get off the air, we'll be able to give you some stats. If not, they do have live stats on the website here at Urbana University.
Yeah, they're available both in the both schools' websites. Will have complete stats there available for you. And through the magic of Google right here, Rick. Might throw some advertising dollars there. I doubt it, but
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, Kentucky State next weekend is hosting Miles College for homecoming.
There you go. Yeah.
Miles College, a team that we've seen in action last year, and
that was at Central State for
State
homecoming there. So
That's
now
right.
they're going to be at Kentucky State for
Miles
homecoming.
College Golden Bears, I believe, out of Alabama, and that is a strong football program for sure. And again, we're excited to go to Frankfort. Of course, Frankfort, the capital of Kentucky, and capital of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Rick.
That's right, the Commonwealth.
Don't you call it a state.
No. Or you could call it the Uncommonwealth.
That's true. Yeah. Wow. All right, so again, I think we are... I think we're going to go ahead and wrap here, folks. So, again, delay in getting the stats to you. But we appreciate you listening, hanging on with us here. Again, join us next week. And you know what? Let's break that because here are just one right now. Here's our closing stats. So, again, your final score: Virginia-Wise, 17. Urbana 0. Virginia-Wise came out on top with 12 first downs to Urbana's 10. Total yards, Wise had 218, Urbana had 147. So, just like we talked about, Rick, a real defensive struggle today.
Right.
Again, the big play was Virginia-Wise's fumble return of 55 yards. Again, that was the big defensive lineman we talked about, and with that nice big fumble return by Knowles Tenner. And yeah, moving pretty good for a big man there on the ground. And, again, just some other highlights here. Again, Virginia-Wise did end up with 4 interceptions on the day. Urbana was 0. Urbana did have 1 fumble recovery. Time of possession. Urbana did win that, 32 minutes and 42 seconds at 27-18. But again, penalties, kind of the name of the game, too. Urbana had 9 penalties for 71 yards. Virginia-Wise penalized just 5 times for 60 yards. Third downs, again, like we talked about, a big defensive struggle. Virginia-Wise just 1 of 14 on third down. Urbana not much better, 4 of 16 for 25%. So, again, a very, very defensive-heavy matchup today. And, again, give these Virginia-Wise Cavaliers credit. They, came in with a 1-4 record on the road and facing, definitely a hostile territory in a homecoming matchup at Urbana. Urbana coming in, they were 4-1, looking to push their record to 5-1. But Virginia-Wise with some tough defense, and Urbana with some stagnant offense gets knocked off here at home at homecoming. So again, thank you for joining us, folks. We're gonna sign off here today. Again, this is Chuck Hale with Rick Phillips coming to you on Campus Nation, and join us next week for the game of the week. Good night, everybody. Have a combined 150 yards of offense. You're not going to blow. Yeah, not much going on. It's 108 rushing yards and 39 passing yards. Each. Well, you got 2 French quarterbacks, and now we got 1. What happened to Aaron? Is he out? Dude, he had a sling and ice drops on. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't look for it. Well, because we were looking, I'm like, did they replace him here?
I think it was a dislocated shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looked like that's what he was trying to tell one of the other players when I was reading his lips.
Yeah.
But
what's wrong with Stockton? Stockton had hurt his wrist that Thursday night. Yeah, I saw that, but I mean, it's in
he had to get surgery.
Oh, he did. So
I think he's hoping to be back for the last 2 games.
Game or two. Yeah.
But